okay, let's pick that. It was closed, but somebody opened it, like somebody was burglarizing it, and we walked in without permission. We could be cited for trespass as journalists, but that'd probably be it. We wouldn't be charged for burglarizing necessarily, but they crossed into a facility that has an extra layer of protection. And like he messed with the wrong Marine, to quote Colonel Jessup, and that Marine in this case was a bunch of parishioners trying to worship, and which makes a big difference under the law for Don Lemon.
Well, of course, and thank you for having me on, Megan. I'm a longtime fan. Mike and I know each other well. The First Amendment says Congress shall make no law. Journalists typically or generally can avoid prosecution based upon the Department of Justice's forbearance and tolerance for some journalistic activity that might otherwise be in violation of the strict language of a statute. The FACE Act, however, provides no journalistic exception. If the conduct of a journalist violates the text of the FACE Act, or Section 241, the Conspiracy Against Rights, the First Amendment provides no protection. The First Amendment is, in effect, at its core, a constitutional right to prevent the government from banning publication of information. It's not a fail-safe. It's not a provision that protects the actions of journalists in pursuing information, and that's what we have here. And in fact, Mike mentioned the use of the FACE Act by the Biden administration, Biden Justice Department, Merrick Garland. There were multiple conservative journalists prosecuted in connection with January 6th. I represented one of them, and they were there recording the events, video, audio recording. They defended themselves on the basis that they were just
Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday.
But,
like
in
and
their
subscribe.
background, in their history, or even on that day, they made comments that the courts be sympathetic to episode like that. The comments that were sympathetic to the protesters, and on that basis, correct, expressions of First Amendment opinion. And the court viewed that sympathy with the protesters as, setting them apart from other journalists. I represent one of them, Steve Baker, who now works for Glenn Beck and Blaze. We made a motion to dismiss the case against him on the basis of selective prosecution. We identified 60 credentialed and freelance journalists who had not been prosecuted, whereas Steve was singled out and prosecuted. And Judge Cooper in D.C. focused on some of Steve's commentary during the event and after the event and said, well, you really were, your comments express an intention to sort of go along and be part of the protest. Well, I got to tell you, I'm watching the video you're showing, and a lot of that I had not seen before. And I'm just chuckling to myself, thinking back to my 21 years as a prosecutor.
Thanks for joining in. He
can't get on the stand. He can't get on the stand and defend himself because he's going to have to eat all these words in front of a jury. And plus what we don't know yet, which I think we will see maybe in the indictment today, and certainly we'll see it in the weeks ahead, is all the communications that the government now has.
So he finally got done. That should have been got him.
Other kinds of communications, not on video as he did, but just his back and forth before and after the event, not just with the organizers of the event, but anything he said to anybody else.
Off work, seeing what's going on. Just found out Don got arrested. He should have been arrested.
If they want to make that case, as they did in the J6 prosecutions, like he went well beyond journalism, it's not going to be hard.
How you doing, Austin?
Steve, let's play. Is it SOT 8? I know we converged 8 and I think 9 or 10, but let's play that one. SOT 8.
This is the beginning of what's going to happen here. When you violate people's due process, when you pull people off the street and you start dragging them and hurting them and not abiding by the Constitution, when you start doing all of that, people get upset and angry. If you remember what the Civil Rights Movement was about. The Civil Rights Movement was about...
Like and subscribe. Help a brother out.
Protest. It was protest. There's nothing in the Constitution that tells you what time you can protest. You can protest at any time. That's the whole point of it, is to disrupt. It's to make uncomfortable. And that's what they're doing. And that's what I believe when I say everyone has to be willing to sacrifice something. You have to make
Okay, Austin, appreciate you.
If you see how uncomfortably and how harsh people are being treated on the streets, you have to be willing to go into places and disrupt and make people uncomfortable. That is what this country is about.
Mike Davis, that soundbite could be played in the closing argument without much more. I mean, that should be how the prosecution ends its closing and then sits down.
Yeah, that watching that makes my blood boil. I went to 13 years of Catholic school. I'm a terrible Catholic, but I remember going to Catholic Mass, and I just can't imagine if the Mass were stormed like that by these agitators. And the Mass was stormed because I went to a white Catholic church, and that's exactly why they did this. They stormed the church because it was a white Christian church. This is textbook Facebook act violation, textbook.
And just to
thanks for the like. Thank you.
He said that on that podcast with the angry Jennifer lady, that this isn't how I practice Christianity, but these are white supremacists in this church, and he thinks that's why they support this ICE pastor. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, and I'm going to pick up what Bill just said about how the DOJ may have given some forbearance here as a journalist.
Thank you. Let's get to 1,000. Thank
We made a
you.
mistake here. We should not have gone in here, but instead, Don Lemon went out there sanctimoniously and doubled down and tripled down and quadrupled down. They had to arrest him. They had to arrest him to not only punish him, but to deter others who think it is acceptable to storm a place of worship during the service. Just imagine if this were a mosque or a black church or a Jewish synagogue. I would be outraged, and it's just because these are white Christians that these Democrats think it's open season. I would say this to Don Lemon. Don Lemon can go to hell, but in the meantime, Pam Bondi is going to put him in prison.
Here's that soundbite of him on the podcast the Monday after he did this, which is 24 hours later.
I think that there is obviously there's racism in it. The whole point of it is that they're detaining people on the streets because of accents in the color of their skin, and they're also targeting people of color and black people as well as brown people. So there is a certain degree of racism there, and there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely 100%, but it's an intimidation tactic.
What?
On top of that, Bill, here he is on camera, his own, confronting the pastor of the church in the middle of the disruption. Here it is. Sad.
Our church had gathered for worship, which we do every Sunday, and we were interrupted by this group of protesters. We asked them to leave, and they obviously have not left. So,
What do you think of this?
I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
But there are folks who
I have to take care of my flock.
Okay, but listen, there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
You can't do that, Don.
We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
That's very respectful. Please don't push me.
We're here to worship Jesus. That's why we're here. Okay? That's why we're here. That's what we're about.
Do you think Jesus would be understanding and
we're about
love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a
no one
Christian?
is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked that you actually would also be this way.
You don't want us to
Get up out of there.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
I mean, Bill, it's right there, black and white. Leave, get out. Then he tries to do the.
I will, Rocket. Give me a minute. I'm on that. I'm definitely on it, Rocket.
He keeps bringing it back to we have a right to worship. We are trying to worship. We have rights too.
I just
Says
got
specifically,
monetized.
I want them out, and I want you out.
As you guys can see, I just got monetized, so I appreciate it. So other than that, I'm gonna get to that too. Having to call in, definitely will appreciate that.
And Don Lemon doesn't. He doesn't leave. He stays after that. I mean, like, that's a trespass case, but it's all over the place. He's justifying the actions of the protesters. He's refusing to leave when told to. He knows the rest are there illegally, and he's justifying every single outrageous thing that they've done because allegedly First Amendment.
Well, the Constitution guarantees the free exercise of religion in the same First Amendment. So there's absolutely no basis for Don Lemon to claim that his First Amendment, right as a member of the press is somehow superior to the First Amendment rights of all those people inside to freely exercise their religion. And frankly, I think the prosecutor or the pastor would have been perfectly within his rights to shove Don Lemon out of the church. It's a bit of self-help, but there would have been nothing wrong with that in my view. And Don Lemon's not there as a member of the press. I mean, we all know that. He might as well be a videographer for the group. He was capturing what they did for their benefit. A very interesting comment you made back before we started the discussion, mentioning his finances. Him pitching for people to join his YouTube channel as a subscriber and to help support their independent journalism. That opens up all the finances of his enterprise to not just discovery efforts, but it's all relevant
Like and
now
subscribe, everybody.
in the trial. Why was he there? Was he there
exactly
for First Amendment, or was he there for the financial well-being of his organization, trying to build it and promote it? And this was just a content opportunity. That's not going anywhere. Something else I want to mention, if you indulge me just a second. I believe this church is actually in St. Paul, not in Minneapolis. And I've done some digging. There are different federal courthouses in St. Paul and Minneapolis, and they're in different counties. Now, I don't think it's news to anybody here that jury pools for federal court are drawn not just from the city where the event happens, but they're drawn from the federal district and the division within the federal district where the charges are filed. I expect what we're going to see today is an indictment not out of Minneapolis, not out of the U.S. Well, it'll be out of the District of Minnesota, but it won't be filed in the Minneapolis courthouse. It'll be filed in the St. Paul courthouse. And the jury pool for that will come from not just St. Paul, but all of the counties in Minnesota that are within that division of the District of Minnesota. Don Lemon's jury pool is going to consist of a lot of people just like the people trying to worship in that church.
Mm-hmm. This isn't a Washington, D.C. situation that Pam Bondi has walked into.
It's not a Minneapolis situation. The demographics of Minneapolis and St. Paul, my understanding is, they're quite different. St. Paul is not a conservative bastion by any stretch of the imagination. But it is not Minneapolis. You didn't see him rioting and burning down buildings after George Floyd in St. Paul.
Good point. Mike, they're already trying to say over on CNN, which was hysterical this morning and so replete with misinformation. Nobody over there knows the law, honestly. Like, Ellie Honig is the only guy who even makes an effort at being fair and actually sticking to the facts. He's a former federal prosecutor. But they didn't have him on this morning. Anyway, they are saying that he's doing this, Trump is doing this because Don Lemon is a critic, because Don's been critical of President Trump. Meanwhile, they arrested another woman there who styled herself as a, quote, journalist. Her name is Georgia Fort.
So what do y'all guys think? You should have been arrested a long time ago, along with the other three individuals. They recorded themselves doing it, talking about it, everything. It makes no sense. He should have been locked up.
She used to be a news anchor in Duluth, Minnesota, and in Columbus, Georgia, and now has her own independent, I guess, media company called Black Press. And she was arrested too, and as were several others. So it isn't just about Don Lemon or critics of President Trump. They went after the ringleaders who were there and anybody else who they could identify. And they're still working it, to my understanding, is on identifying all the people who participated in this. It has nothing to do with Don Lemon's politics, but that's where they're going to go with it. And here's what I wanted to ask you. I told the audience that originally the magistrate judge, who was conflicted and wouldn't say that there was probable cause for this case, he kicked it out and said, either improve your probable cause or go to a grand jury. So they tried to overrule him, our DOJ did, by going to his boss, basically the chief district judge. And that guy said, what are you doing here? I agree with that other guy's remedy. Go improve your probable cause affidavit or go to a grand jury. I'm not getting involved. And then they tried to go above him to the 8th Circuit. And the 8th Circuit said, what are you doing here? You're premature here. We don't take these cases on appeal until they're all done. Get out. So they went to a grand jury and got the indictment. But that chief judge wrote a letter. And in his letter, he did say go to a grand jury, but he also said, I see no evidence to support a case against Don Lemon. And that's all over X this morning. All these journalists are like, there's no evidence.
Thank you, guys.
2 judges
Appreciate
said that.
it.
The magistrate
Name
judge
is
wouldn't do
Deontay.
it.
Thank
the
you.
district judge said there's no evidence. And now this morning, just FYI, reports just in that the Minnesota Attorney General, Keith Ellison, who went on Don Lemon's podcast within 24 hours of this event, saying you didn't do anything wrong, is now saying the same via paper statement. And on top of that, we are now told that a group of journalists have gathered outside of the federal courthouse in downtown LA, where Don Lemon is expected to be booked. An anti-ICE protest is expected to be held near this afternoon. So we're going to hear all about that judge's conclusion and the magistrate judge not finding PC. To begin with, your thoughts on those angles.
Well, that's great, but guess what? The federal grand jury found probable cause, because that's how you get an indictment, right? So you can either get an indictment under felony charges under Rule 7 of the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure. You can also get a grand jury indictment for misdemeanors, right? That the right to a grand jury indictment belongs to the defendant, so that's why you have to do it for felonies. But the government can certainly go do it for a misdemeanor, like under the FACE Act, and they apparently did, and the grand jury agreed that there was probable cause. I don't think that anyone who watched the videos of your show today, Megan, can say that there's not probable cause to move forward with FACE Act and Klan Act charges against Don Lemon and his fellow Klansmen, right? So there's no question there's probable cause, and it doesn't matter what these activist judges in Minnesota, hand-selected by Democrat senators, it doesn't matter what they think about this. The grand jury has already said that there is probable cause to move forward.
Because people need to know that even though federal district judge may be appointed, if the opening is there under a Republican administration, yes, the president can nominate the judge, but they have to be, Mike's saying, but the Democratic senators, if it's from a blue state like Minnesota, you can nominate all you want. You can nominate a Mike Davis, but he's never going to get through with it because the 2 blue state senators are going to say, oh, hell no. So even under a Republican administration in the blue states, we wind up getting soft Republican or conservative judges during administrations that are held by, a Republican, like the Bush administration. I think this chief judge is a Bush administration appointee. But your point is you can't go with that, because in a state like Minnesota, you would have had to be blessed by the Democrat senators. A new year means new financial goals, like making sure your savings are secure and diversified. Will this be the year you decide to talk to someone from Birch Gold?
I'm not naive. I think they're probably going to try again and again, as they did with Tish James and Comey and everyone. If one doesn't work, and they try something else, and that fails, and they try something else, and then they just don't give up because they want to save face. But I don't know what's next. I think what's next is that I have to be in it for the long haul, and just to be strong as always, and keep calm and carry on.
Because this federal magistrate judge said that they didn't have a case. Basically, the Department of Justice said that they didn't have a case. I mean, the judge said the Department of Justice didn't have a case. But you think that it's not over?
No, I think it's not over. Because it
Thanks, love.
doesn't matter if there's no law to fit. They will try to fit or retrofit something or go around a judge and just do it themselves.
You called for Don Lemon's arrest over his church stunt in Minneapolis. He's since called you racist, unhinged, homophobic, and out of your depth. Anything you'd like to say to Don Lemon? Sucker, stop.
Some breaking news to bring you confirmation from the US Justice Department that the former CNN anchor Don Lemon has been arrested by federal agents. It's understood from a statement from his attorney that he was arrested last night in Los Angeles. He was there to cover the Grammy Awards. He has been a journalist for 30 years, and his constitutionally protected work in Minneapolis was no different than what he's always done. Now, he had appeared to be taking part in some of the protests that were taking place in Minnesota against some of the tactics being used by the ICE agents there, in which 2 protesters lost their lives. Well, it has been confirmed by the US Justice Department that Don Lemon, the former CNN
Thank you, guys.
anchor,
Like and subscribe. Thank you.
arrested.
Get to 1,000.
Boy. So we got him. We finally got him. We got Donna Lemonade. Don Lemon has been arrested. I cannot tell you guys how much it makes me happy when I wake up in the morning. Like, I literally just woke up. Start scrolling on X. Let me see what news is out there, right? What's going on? Some topics to talk about. And I see a great story like this. Donna Lemonade finally arrested by the DOJ, which is something that I told you guys could be coming, right? I've been following this story. A lot of people gave up on Pam Bondi because of the fact that the woke judge out of Minnesota, magistrate judge, refused to allow them to arrest Don Lemon, and then they went to an appeals court, and the appeals court refused to make that judge allow the DOJ to arrest Don Lemon. But like I told you guys, one of the judges said, yeah, there's probable cause here to arrest Don Lemon. But that's a separate issue than making the magistrate judge actually do their job, right? So presumably they had to go to a grand jury, and we're going to talk about that because it looks like that's what they did, due to the fact that others have been arrested as well. And again, it seems as if they
How you doing, Susan?
get it done through
Thanks for joining in. Justin, thanks for joining in. Appreciate you guys.
So without further ado, go ahead and roll the news clip about Don Lemon getting arrested. Take a look.
Alert, journalist Don Lemon has been arrested in connection with an anti-ICE protest at a church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Bill Malusia joins us now with more on this breaking news. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, Charlie, good morning to you. Our colleague David Spunt and I getting this breaking news from multiple law enforcement sources just minutes ago, confirming that former CNN anchor Don Lemon has been arrested by federal agents.
Like they said, nobody's above the law. Like and subscribe.
In Los Angeles just after midnight this morning at a hotel. This obviously all in connection with that storming
no problem.
of a
Thank you.
church
Thank you,
in
Susan.
St.
Thank you.
Paul, Minnesota, by that group of anti-ICE agitators. Now remember, the feds had gone to judges to try to get Don Lemon arrested before. They went to a magistrate judge in Minnesota who didn't sign off on an arrest warrant for him. Then it went to a judge above him. He didn't sign off on an arrest warrant for him. Then it went to an appeals court. They also decided not to sign off for an arrest warrant for him. So there was experts who were predicting that perhaps the feds would go to a grand jury. It remains to be seen if that's what happened here, but we can confirm that Don Lemon was arrested in Los Angeles by federal agents just after midnight Los Angeles time at a hotel. Now, typically, standard procedure with an arrest like this is the defendant will likely make their first court appearance sometime the same day. So there's a chance we may see Don Lemon make his first court appearance in Los Angeles sometime today. But obviously, this is going to grab all sorts of headlines. 3 other protesters from that church storming, have already been arrested, including who the feds say was the organizer of that protest. The woman in the middle there is a school board member in St. Paul, and then the mugshot on the right is an online personality / agitator, if you want to call it
Yeah,
that.
it took them long enough. You're right.
Farmer. Those were the 3 people that the feds had already
Like and
arrested.
subscribe, everybody.
But
Like
we
and
have
subscribe.
confirmed that
Happy
Don
Friday,
Lemon has now
everybody.
been arrested in Los Angeles
the
in
weekend.
connection with that viral incident. We all saw the video of it that spread and drew widespread condemnation.
Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, everybody. If you can, help a brother out.
FACE Act violations. So this is still breaking news. Once we get more details about the potential charges here, a court appearance, we'll, of course, update our viewers, guys.
Really appreciate it. Of course, if it was a grand jury that did indict him, that's pretty unimpeachable. Bill Milutian, thank you so much.
Yep.
More Fox and Friends.
Yeah. So it looks as if that is what happened, because you have others who were there who claimed that they were recording. They were just doing journalism, right, while violating other people's First Amendment rights. Yeah. They claim that the feds came knocking at their door, and they were told that they were indicted by a grand jury. Take a look.
Do you want to wear my glasses? You guys, I wanted to alert the public that agents are at my door right now. They're saying that we were able to go before a grand jury sometime, I guess, in the last 24 hours, and that they have a warrant for my arrest. I've talked to my attorney, and I'm being advised to go with them, I guess, down to Whipple. And my children are here. They're impacted by this. This is all stemming from the fact that I filmed a protest as a member of the media. We are supposed to have our constitutional right of the freedom to film, to be a member of the press. I don't feel like I have my First Amendment right as a member of the press, because now federal agents are at my door arresting me for filming the church.
Hey, Sauce, I do interact. Give me a minute and let everybody you can't get a chance to get in. I interact. Name is Deontay. Name is Deontay. I do interact. Thanks for joining in.
Are at my door right now. My attorney has spoken with them. I did send a relative outside to talk to them. They're showing some type of documentation, apparently, that they got an indictment from a grand jury. I knew that I was on a defendant's list. I did not publish it because it was under seal. And so we've done everything that we can to try and abide by, the advice of our attorneys. But right now, you guys, I wanted you to know I'm going to have to hop off here and surrender to agents as a member of the press. I filmed the church protest a few weeks ago, and now I'm being arrested for that.
I died with you, bro. Appreciate it.
It's hard to understand how we have a constitution, constitutional rights, when you can just be arrested for being a member of the press. We've seen all these violations. All right, you guys, I gotta go. They're knocking. She's coming right now. Give me 1 second.
This is absolutely outrageous. A journalist taken into federal custody for doing his job. This statement was posted directly on Don Lemon's official page this morning by his attorney, Abe Lowell. So according to that statement, Don Lemon was taken into federal custody by federal agents in Los Angeles while covering the Grammy Awards. His attorney states that this stems from constitutionally protected journalism related to Lemon's reporting in Minneapolis, and calls it an unprecedented
I don't just do live streams. I got videos too as well.
attack on the First Amendment. And let's be very clear here. A government that targets journalists instead of tolerating scrutiny is not acting in the public interest. A government that allows the gross misuse of law enforcement instead of actually following the law is not upholding justice. That is not accountability. That is intimidation. Lowell states that Don Lemon will fight these charges vigorously in court. At this time, charging documents and court filings have not yet been made public.
Appreciate it, Salty.
And
Appreciate
personally, my message to Don and to every independent journalist trying to get the truth out to the masses is this: do not let intimidation stop the story. Do not let fear prevent people from getting the truth. This is the good trouble that John Lewis taught us.
I get where she kind of come from, but if you was in that church, protest in that church as a member, that makes a difference. But you can't just come into the church and then disrupt and then all of a sudden I want to protest. You can't do that. That makes no sense. That's not how that works. Period. You know? Make it make sense, y'all.
And good trouble
They
has
don't talk to
always
soap
been
down.
necessary.
Yeah, see, now you heard that. Bad news for all of the journalists, legal observers, domestic terrorists out there in the world, right? Who believe that they can enter churches and to stop people from worshiping, exercising their First Amendment rights while claiming to be journalists. Well, I'm just there to record, but at the same time, you're on camera supporting it. You're on camera justifying it.
Appreciate
right?
it, man.
You're
I'm just being led by God, man.
As a part of the mob, right? In support of the mob, okay? That was not neutral journalism. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But, I just want to read this statement here because Don Lemon actually being arrested suggested all of them, right? Everybody that was involved probably is going to get arrested, and that there's a lot more going on here than what we know so far. Quote, at my direction, early this morning, federal agents arrested Don Lemon, Traherne Jean Cruz, Georgia Ford, and Jamel Lindell Lundy in connection with the coordinated attack on City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota. More details coming soon. Yeah, so I think that more details are coming, more arrests are coming. This is a huge deal, and it's really bad news for Don Lemon. I'm going to tell you why it's really bad news. The reason why it's really bad news is because we already know how hard it is to get an actual indictment against liberals, right, from a grand jury, right, especially in a place like, Minneapolis, Minnesota, which I believe is the reason why they didn't go through that route in the first place, because of how difficult it would be. However, despite the woke judge, the magistrate judge, refusing to charge Don Lemon because there's no probable cause, right, according to him, I already told you guys that another judge said that, there is probable cause. Okay, we already know why the magistrate judge refused to do it. Probable cause is not a high standard, right? It's not a super high standard. I think what we saw from Don Lemon, just the video in and of itself of him being there in support of the protest, clearly being a part of the protest, right, while claiming to be a journalist, I think that that's enough for probable cause, right? I really do. So there was a lot of politics going on. But I also believe that
he was walking the path. You can't do that.
In Minneapolis, Minnesota, they're just generally liberal, and if they went before a liberal, grand jury, okay, which right now at this moment, the Trump administration is not well liked, okay, in that area. Let's keep it 100. Then what that probably means is that the charges are airtight, right? That they have much more evidence against Don Lemon to suggest that he was a part of the conspiracy, okay, rather than just somebody there as a journalist, okay? And I'm not surprised by this because of the fact that they probably got a lot more evidence after they initially arrested the three people who everybody knows for sure was involved and coordinated.
They recorded themselves. That's the whole thing.
Church, right? Once they got those three individuals, at that point, they could basically look through records, communications.
Right, Happy, right. He was outside talking about it.
Don Lemon, okay, and
that shit crazy.
I'm pretty sure that there are communications, okay, and those communications probably suggest that, again, Don Lemon was not just there as a journalist. He was there as an actual protest.
Right, he knew the lady anyway. He walked up to her, gave her a hug and kiss and everything. He knew her.
Right, and that's probably what got him. I don't know. I'm just telling you guys that I think there's more evidence against Don Lemon. We just don't know about it yet.
Oh, I won't.
And that is probably what led to him actually being indicted, if he was indicted, right? I believe that is the direction that they went in order to make this happen. We don't.
They got the two ladies' phones too, right? They was out there recording, talking about it.
That's what they did.
He's in the car talking about it.
So, at this point, I'm happy, right? Even though I want to see Don Lemon prosecuted and found guilty, right? I want to see him found guilty. Okay, so it's not over yet, but Pam Bondi finally did something, right? I hope those of you out there who are very critical of Pam Bondi, and rightfully so, hey, let's give her a small W here. Okay, she actually arrested.
All for the wrong reasons. He went viral.
Now we're gonna see a whole bunch of boohoo, whine, and cry, right? The liberal tears are coming next, right? And we'll probably be talking about that later today. But just understand, no, you do not have a First Amendment right to invade a church, right? You do not have a First Amendment right to take away somebody else's First Amendment right, okay? I don't understand why is it that this is so hard for people to understand that your rights end where other rights begin, right? Other people's rights exist because your rights are not absolute, right? I don't understand what's so hard for people to get about this concept, right? Like, for example, when it comes to freedom of religion, you do not have the freedom of religion to participate in human sacrifice. Why is that? It's because that would infringe on somebody else's rights to live, right?
Oh, and from Rockford.
Everybody intuitively understands that, hey, you don't have a right of freedom of speech.
I lived in Chicago, now I live in Rockford.
You take away somebody else's right to exercise their First Amendment rights, which is freedom of religion, right?
Yeah, hate crime. You should.
Somebody else's rights.
You should.
So you cannot claim that that's your right. You don't have a right to infringe on somebody else's rights because your rights stop where other people's rights begin. And people are getting a hard lesson on how rights actually work, okay? Just like with Alex Preddy. His Second Amendment rights, okay, which he has the right to carry. But when an officer
That's what's up, man.
feels like his life is in
Louisiana,
danger
that's what's
because of
up.
actions taken by Alex Preddy, confronting the officer, resisting arrest, while exercising his Second Amendment right, then the officer's right of self-defense kicks in, right? That's how it works. Same thing here. You cannot invade a church effectively, taking away somebody else's First Amendment rights of worshiping, okay? Freedom of religion.
Right. Don Lemon supposed to have been central. Most of these journalists supposed to be what they call center, I guess. And so when he got fired, he went straight left. So he never was a real journalist. He was an activist. That's crazy. On the real.
You can't take that away and then turn around and claim, well, it's my First Amendment right to do that. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. And too many people have a childish worldview, and this is why they're shocked that there are adult consequences to their childish behavior, right? Too many people in this country think like children, and they're getting a hard lesson on how the real world actually works. They're getting a hard lesson on how rights actually work, okay? You cannot have liberty without responsibility. Rights plus responsibility is how you get liberty, right? When people have just rights with no responsibility, okay, when it comes to how they exercise those rights, you don't get liberty. You get anarchy and chaos, and that's what you saw in that church, right? That's what you saw in that church. What you saw in that church is what happens when people think that they have rights without any real responsibility on how they exercise those rights. But when you have a responsibility to exercise those rights in ways in which you don't infringe on other people's rights, that's how you get liberty. And what you're seeing with Don Lemon right now being arrested is justice. So let's just hope and pray that these charges stick, and that Don Lemon is found guilty in the court of law, and that he is put in jail and sent to prison for a long, long, long time. And hopefully that will be a lesson to
You're gonna be with Diddy.
Any left-wing lunatic who's thinking about invading a church, that you probably might not want to do that, right? So, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll support and share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.
Michael Knowles, your thoughts on Don Lemon being taken away in handcuffs?
When I got the news, I was sitting down for my show this morning. I pulled him.
Do Jimmy Kimmel if you want. Because I'm not going anywhere.
Journalist, former colleague of ours, former CNN anchor, Don Lemon, has been taken into custody, arrested just days after a protest inside a Minneapolis church.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Yeah, it actually happened. It actually went down. And, you know, obviously it was speculated that this would happen, right? But a couple of judges actually kind of let him off the hook, right? At least a little bit to a certain extent. Kind of let Don Lemon off the hook. So for a while there, it kind of seemed like, he might maybe get away with this. But credits to the Trump administration, they weren't going to let it go that easily. No. Just because we have some woke judges in this country who unfortunately don't want to uphold the law.
Thank you.
You will not just skirt by, okay? You will not just be able to do whatever it is that you want to do because you're a leftist
and there's some leftist woke judges, which that will be a problem, right? Prosecuting folks in this country, these woke judges, and we've already seen it happening. These woke judges will let these liberals off the hook just because they're leftists, which is unfortunate. We shouldn't be seeing stuff like that in this country, but unfortunately, that is the country that we live in currently. And I only say currently because we can change it, obviously. We can change it over time. But I wanted to play a little bit of this because, man, is this juicy. Check it out.
Alert, journalist Don Lemon has been arrested in connection with an anti-ICE protest at a church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Bill Malusian joins us now with more on this breaking news. Hey, Bill.
I'm gonna keep doing the same shit.
In connection with that storming of a church in court, they also organizer of that protest. The woman in the middle there is a school board member in St. Paul, and then the mugshot on the right is an online personality / agitator, if you want to call him that. He's known as the Woke Farmer. Those were the three people that the feds had already arrested, but we have confirmed that Don Lemon has now been arrested in Los Angeles in connection with that viral incident. We all saw the video of it that spread and drew widespread condemnation. The feds have been going after these people on FACE Act violations. So this is still breaking news. Once we get more details about the potential charges here, a court appearance, we'll, of course, update our viewers, guys.
Really appreciate it. Of course, if it was a grand jury that did indict him, that's pretty unimpeachable. Bill Malusian, thank you so much.
Ooh, wait. Don Lemon, you might have really stepped in it this time. And, you know, I think they did go to a grand jury to get this accomplished. Excuse me. Now, I do find it interesting that
most definitely
comes after three other individuals that were involved in this, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna play the hard spins next. Definitely gonna play them
maybe
next.
something to do with that, you know, maybe.
Yeah, when I scream, I try to scream with everything all connected. You know, I don't just scream everything all willy-nilly and random. I'm trying to make sense with it. Keep the conversation engaging and more going. Thank you guys for being in the chat. Appreciate it. I'll play them next.
Maybe one of them actually revealed some information that Don Lemon was actually genuinely involved in the whole situation, and that's how they were able to like really pin him down on it. Because of course, he's claiming that he was just there being a journalist, like he just happened to come across the entire situation. But maybe somebody revealed that he was actually completely involved in it. This wasn't just a happens chance that he came across this situation, and maybe he encouraged them to do it. I don't know, but this is interesting. This is good. And also, they went to another one of those individuals' homes recently and arrested her as well. Because there was an initial first three, right? There was the first three that got arrested, I don't know, a few days ago, maybe a little, I don't even know. My days all blend together at this point, so I don't know. Anybody else feel the same way? Like the days just blend together, you don't know, like. Anyway, there was three of them that got arrested initially, right? Maybe a week ago. And then Don Lemon, and then a couple others as well were arrested recently as well. And this is one of the chicks right here, because they pulled up to her house at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Check it out.
Yes.
Damn, they right there.
Okay. Okay, well, this is really scary. There's kids in the house. You guys have not been really friendly in the community.
Thank you guys. Like and subscribe. Thank you.
Can I finish, sir? Can I finish? Get your phone. This seems a little bit aggressive to have all these cars in our cul-de-sac. 2 or 3 agents, and now I saw the one disappear to the back. So to me, this is a little aggressive to just serve a warrant. Slide the warrant. Let me see the warrant. Okay. And that, to me, what I have been told, is not a judicial warrant that has me to have to open the door for you.
Oh, man. Jeez, when your actions actually have consequences. And this is also refreshing because I feel like for so long, the left has been able to do anything and everything they've wanted to do. And they've always gotten away with it. At every turn, you see a leftist doing something that we know good and darn well that we would never be allowed to get away with. And yet they're getting away with all types of stuff. All types of stuff. Left, right, and center. And so it's refreshing. It is refreshing to see somebody like Don Lemon actually be arrested. That is refreshing. It genuinely is. It's almost like things have been made right again. Man. Conservatives, Republicans getting banned off social media, left, right, and center, right? We're not allowed to say this or say that. If we disagree with how the election was run, we're not allowed to voice our opinions. If we do, we're banned. We're punished in some way, shape, or form. And I know some of you are going to say, well, why don't you guys just go to this platform or that platform and, just skip out on YouTube? And it's like, well, where do most people go to watch content like this? They come here to YouTube, right? Most people don't go to these off the wall, and no knock on these other platforms. I hope they succeed, but most people don't go to those platforms, right? And so if all conservatives, if all Republicans got banned off of YouTube, now liberals just get to run wild. Just get to run wild on one of the biggest platforms there is. So I don't think it would have been smart to just get all of ourselves banned on the platform. Now, I think that would have been dumb, actually, because, once again, most people come to YouTube. And if all Republicans are banned off of YouTube, and so the only voices that people are hearing on their television and then on their phones when they go to YouTube is just a bunch of liberal voices, how do you think that was going to play out? So I'm happy. I'm happy to see that things are turning around. We got the evidence that, the Biden administration was in cahoots with platforms like YouTube and others to try to ban conservatives. It's all being revealed. And not only that, but now we're actually seeing some arrests begin to happen to more prominent individuals, right? Don Lemon is a name. Okay, everybody knows who Don Lemon is. I don't think he's great at his job personally, but everybody knows who Don Lemon is. If you're having a conversation with a random person and you say Don Lemon, they probably know who you're talking about. Mainly because he's been on a lot of people's television screens, so there's that. But to see somebody like that get arrested on the left, man, like I said, it's a great start. It's an amazing start. All right. We'll see where this ends up. Y'all let me know your thoughts and your opinions on where this all goes from here. But Don Lemon has been arrested. It's official. Peace and love. I'm out.
It's all good, Bruce. But my name is Deontay. It's all good. Spelled different.
So this morning, after Don Lemon was arrested, the mainstream media is melting down. Yeah, they're letting their bosses dictate how they think. Yeah, which means they're not thinking. Yeah. Do they ever think? Check out these idiots.
So the Trump administration wonders why people are saying that they are trying to form a dictatorship. Well, look at the landscape. Arresting
Right, as he's supposed to do. Wait outside.
Who covered a protest in Minneapolis is just insane, ridiculous, dictator-like. This is the playbook that dictators use to destroy democracies and take the will of the people away. It is as simple as that. The First Amendment is the First Amendment for a reason.
This guy is unbelievable. Look here. Don Lemon's rights ended at when those churchgoers' rights began. Right. His First Amendment right does not trump the church's right. The people who attended that church's right for service. Yeah. His First Amendment, he has that outside in the public parking lot or public easement by the church or in front of the church. Yeah. But you can't, who would even suggest or make this suggestion that it's okay to go protest inside of a church when service is being held? That is crazy talk. And from the moment you started speaking, you're so biased. You letting it dictate how you think, and you cherry pick the data. Yeah. He wasn't arrested for being a journalist. Yeah. He was arrested for taking away the rights of the churchgoers inside the church. That's why he was arrested. But Trump's the dictator. I think those protesters and Don Lemon was acting like the dictators. He's taking away people's rights. Yeah. Man,
it is considered the preferred amendment when you have to start balancing what's more important. The framers of the Constitution knew that a free press was essential to a democracy. Without a free press, you don't have a democracy.
You don't have free press in the church, you moron. Hey, man, people, that's a stickler for me, too. They keep calling it a democracy. We're in a constitutional republic, which is a form of democracy, but we're not a straight democracy. We're a constitutional republic. Like your ignorance of the First Amendment and how the structure, the framework of our government shows. Yeah. That's like, you don't have a First Amendment right in my house. If you're a journalist, say you want to ask me some questions, and nope, I refuse, no comment. You can't come in my house and just ask me questions. Same thing goes for a church. Yeah. Everybody's rights are involved, just not yours. Yeah. If anybody's behaving like a dictator or authoritarian, it was Don Lemon and those protesters. Yeah.
It's real clear that Donald Trump and company doesn't want a free press. The idea that a journalist, which Don Lemon has been for 30 years, would walk into a church and film a demonstration which is of national interest, and then to say somehow, when you watch the video, they say he's part of the protest. Watch that video. He is covering the protest. He is covering it. That's what journalists do.
That's the thing. It's not a protest. That is not a protest. You take away people's rights. You don't have a right to protest inside of a church. And that protest you keep referring to as a protest was illegal.
I covered riots. I was a local reporter in Los Angeles for 15 years, and I covered riots and floods and earthquakes and all sorts of things where I had to step into areas where there were police, where there was activity.
Like and subscribe, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Like and subscribe.
An event like this, like a protest, which I've covered many, you step into it. And that's...
I love how Democrats always like to compare apples to oranges and you cherry pick. Yeah. I mean, you're not taking away anybody's rights by covering what happened during a riot. Right. That riot that happened in the church is taking away other people's rights. And how did he know that was going to go down?
That's stupid.
That means conspiracy. Is involved as well. How did he know it was
going to go down? Bruce.
Yeah, he was complicit. And did you see the part of the video?
And I'm pretty sure the congregation know that he was an ICE agent or whatever, and they were cool with it. And he pretty sure they wanted him there. So how you gonna barge in? Oh, we got an ICE agent here, get him out of here. That's crazy. That's they people, that's they man, you know? Come on, Don. Come on, y'all.
Where the pastor told him to leave.
Get out.
And then he tells the pastor, don't touch me, don't push me. You didn't see any of that. He was part of that illegal protest inside of that church. He's trying to create a story. Yeah, he wanted a soundbite. He tried to go viral, but he ended up going viral for all the wrong reasons.
That's what journalists do. And that's what Don Lemon did. The idea that the Justice Department is saying he walked onto private property, that is insane. A church invites everybody in. Have you ever seen?
It's still private property.
You idiot.
No church is going to invite a violent, obnoxious protest. And that one guy was screaming at him, threatening people. Yeah. People got scared. The churchgoers left. Yeah. You know what? At the beginning of this video, we called you an idiot. You're not an idiot. You're just not using your capacity well because you're letting your your biases dictate your thing. You're not rational at all. Don Lemon's not rational. You're not rational. The people who invaded that church is not rational. Yeah. All because y'all let an ideology dictate on how y'all treat people and how you think. Yeah.
In a church with a no trespassing sign saying no journalists allowed. Have you ever seen any house of worship that says that? It is insane that they're making this stupid argument transparent. And yet a grand jury indicted Don Lemon after a magistrate said there's insufficient evidence. Well, a grand jury will indict anybody because Don Lemon doesn't appear before the grand jury. Abby Lowell, his lawyer, doesn't appear before the grand jury. The Justice Department says what the Justice Department wants the grand jury to believe, and almost every time they believe it. It's all the way it's skewed. This is a ridiculous assault. And I don't want to say just on the First Amendment. It's a ridiculous assault on democracy. Trump administration should be ashamed of itself, but they're not. And they will continue to do this. And they are going after journalists. They're getting search warrants for their homes. It is obvious what's happening in this country, people. Look at what is happening.
What's this energy when Trump was getting raided? Everybody around him was getting locked up. Took him off of social media. Took away his First Amendment rights.
Right, he couldn't go. Right, he couldn't go to his son's graduation or something like that. They all that to Trump. Couldn't go to a graduation or something like that. Try to bankrupt the man. They shot at the man twice. Stop the boohoo and crying.
He was the president of the United States. He was a convicted 34-time felon. Hey, he said the Trump administration should be ashamed. You should be ashamed. You don't even know what type of government we are. We are constitutional republic. We're not a period.
I'm going to say this. It's a Republican channel on MAGA all day, but at the same time, welcome everybody. I don't care who you are. Just have some fun in the chat. I'm not here to judge you or put you down or anything like that. I'm here to have some fun. That's it. Whatever you like, that's on you. Respect everybody. Same thing. Let's have some fun.
Your democracy. Don Lemon should be ashamed. Those protesters should be ashamed. Yeah.
Former CNN anchor and a former colleague of mine and friend, Don Lemon, has been taken into custody by federal agents.
And again, I'm not here to tell you be MAGA. I'm asking everybody to be it. Common sense. Vote common sense. Live with common sense. That's it. For the moment.
According to his attorney. It comes after Lemon covered the protests earlier this month, dozens of anti-ICE protesters rushing inside of a church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Now, Don has said that he was just there as a journalist, photographing the incident as a journalist, asking questions as a journalist after the protesters went in, and has been very clear he was not part of the protest group. In a statement, Don Lemon's attorney says, quote, "This unprecedented attack on the First Amendment and transparent attempt to distract..."
Right, I don't agree with everything Trump do either.
Facing this administration
at all.
Again, your rights.
As long as he sticks to his policies, I'm cool with that. Nobody's perfect, you know.
Don will fight these charges vigorously and thoroughly in court. Now, I just want to quickly let you know, Don Lemon spoke with Allison Camerata, another former colleague and friend from CNN, who now works for Scripps News, about the church incident.
Right, could have waited outside the church.
What she
could have waited.
Us just moments ago.
So he said that he was covering a protest. This is at the St. Paul church. The protesters had reason to believe that the pastor there was an ICE agent. And so Don, the way Don described it to me is that he was doing what we do. He was covering a protest. He wasn't conspiring with them. He knew that they were.
Of course you're conspiring with them. How did you know it was going to go down? Yeah. Why are you there? Because you know it was about to go down. Yeah, there's evidence before they went in. He was talking to the ringleader who organized this entire thing. Right. And he didn't know what was about to go down. Did you actually think that they were going to wait for the churchgoers to come outside after their service and then they...
Thank you for the Ruby. They call Ruby's Earn. Thank you. I appreciate it. I just started in September, just got to this, you know what I'm saying, where I'm at, and I appreciate you guys with this journey. I think, Bruce, you've been with me for a minute now since I started. Trying to get to 1,000 better, you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
A protest. Yeah. Common sense would have told you, Don, from the moment they stormed that church, you should have backed away. If you had any integrity, if you had a gut, if you got common sense, if you had a conscience, if you had an IQ higher than 6, you wouldn't have followed those idiots inside that church. But you are an idiot. That's why you...
Bruce, you have, man. I really appreciate you, man. Man, you see where I'm at, man. 861 subscribers. I thank you, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Blessings.
He followed him in there, and then he tried to put words in that pastor's mouth saying, "Don't push me." Oh, I'm just here documenting what's going on.
All right, Salty. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Know the law. Yeah.
Going to be protesting something. He wasn't in on their plans, he says beforehand, which is one of the things.
Yeah, Bruce. Yeah, thank you, man.
Has suggested. And then he stayed outside, he says. Protesters went inside the church. And when he realized that the protest was unfolding inside the church, he then went inside. And so, obviously our legal experts can describe whether that's trespassing on private property, but either way.
Look at that idiot. This dude actually documented himself committing a crime.
Damn.
What a moron.
That's a misdemeanor. And, the idea that Don Lemon, as a journalist, has now been arrested is just in an entirely different category.
A disturbing escalation against reporting in America. And I would also put it in the framework of protests. This is part of an ongoing pressure campaign against protests, especially the kind of provocative anti-Trump protest action that we have seen makes the administration so uncomfortable. And frankly, makes some voters very uncomfortable. This is an action, this arrest of Don Lemon, this arrest of this independent journalist who is live streaming and reporting in Minnesota. This is something that some MAGA loyalists have been demanding. They've been wanting to see it happen. When Trump promised retribution, this is the kind of retribution that some of his voters, not all, but some of his voters wanted to see. And I think that is, for better or for worse, some of the context for what we're seeing this morning. It is, the First Amendment is to protect both the reporter's right to report, but also a congregation's right to worship. So legal experts might say this is somewhat complicated. Although Lemon said,
hey, keep going at it, Bruce, man. Don't give up, man. Keep posting.
He did a really important job showing people, all of us now who can watch the video, what happened inside that church. I want to back up to that Sunday morning. That intrusion into City's church was sincerely shocking to many, many millions of Americans, myself included. People, saw that video, they saw Lemon's video, and they were uncomfortable by what happened inside.
Appreciate it.
Worship service was disrupted by protesters. And now there's a very interesting debate about whether the protesters were right or whether they were wrong to go into the church. But that is a political debate. And that's a debate about what forms of protest are effective. The Trump administration is moving that political debate into the legal arena and wanting to take it into court and have a court fight. And we know there have been these attempts to arrest some of the other protesters last week who were there. And now we have these arrests of these reporters who documented the scene. I'm reminded of what one of Lemon's friends, Jennifer Welch, said to her on a podcast.
Yep, you're definitely right, Salty.
Welch said to Lemon, quote, "You are a prize for them. An independent, gay, black, happy, successful man.
Here we go.
And
Here we go with this guy.
Intimidate and beat you down."
Here you go with this guy.
This is insane. That's why they targeted him, because he's black and gay. He stormed the church and...
How do you always flip the narrative to something else? That's crazy.
The left is simply amazingly stupid. These people are not well. Trying to say the First Amendment gives you a right to stop someone else's right during worship. There's no logic there. There's no common sense. These are not protests. This is an actual crime. Like they keep saying, Preti and Renee Good were peaceful protesters. They were not peaceful protesters. If they were peaceful protesters, they would still be alive. Yeah. If these people were peaceful protesters outside their church on a public easement, they wouldn't be arrested. Yeah. But they broke the law. Yeah. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Yeah. You need to be able to call it on both sides. Yeah.
Lemon's friends see this situation, this attempt to charge him, and now this actual arrest of Lemon. He's in jail in LA now, as an attempt to target another Trump foe. And let me also quote...
Shut up. This is right before he went to church. Don Lemon actually documented him committing a crime. Yeah,
right.
To commit a crime. Total morons. Yeah, you can't fix stupid. You just can't. Yeah, I used to say this was gaslighting. Yeah, by CNN. I don't even think it's gaslighting. I think we're giving them way too much credit. I think these people are just stupid. The way they think. Yeah.
Thank you.
Lefties losing it. Let's
Hold on, I got a good one for you guys.
Ellen DeGeneres, who is such a horror show that she's been variously described by staff and guests as toxic, terrifying, manipulative, demeaning, and
This is a good one here. Oh, it's right there in front of me. There we go.
What are you arresting me for?
Get out of the car.
What are you arresting me for?
Get out of the
What are you arresting me for?
An officer was conducting speed enforcement using an unmarked Dodge Durango. I thought you're almost 60 miles an hour.
I can see my feet.
All she had to do is comply and go home. Just go home. You guys will see. It's crazy. They should play this in school. Basically says what not to do.
Limit here. I was going 35. The speed limit is 45. I know I wasn't going no 60. I can see my speed limit. It tells me the speed limit right there.
Well, you were passing every car.
I was going 35. It's a big SUV. It's an Audi. It goes pretty fast for the speed. I was going
Do you have the driver's license on you, miss?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand that when you're passing many cars?
What I'm telling you is I can see my speed limit. It tells me the speed limit right there, 45. I was going 35.
I understand that. Do you understand that I'm a trained motor cop? I do this for a living.
You have something to show me what I was going 60?
Just you were passing all the cars.
You have something to show me.
My radar showed you were 57 miles an hour. And you're passing all the cars.
Sir, I know what I was
Did you know that you were passing all the
I
cars?
was going 35. There was no cars on the road. It was just me and you.
Have you been drinking?
Go ahead. Bye.
I'm trying to educate
She had some Hennessy.
That's a racial slur right there because how
Radar don't lie.
Right, of course, the race card comes out. This officer and this lady are having a disagreement about how fast her vehicle was traveling. Certainly getting a speeding ticket is frustrating, but this lady really is out of line with her attitude. It's unknown whether this officer was going to give her a ticket or even a warning, but then she pulls the race card for no reason at all. Let's see how the rest of this transpires.
I look like I've been drinking because I'm telling you what I was going. If I was being drinking, you gonna do a breathalyzer or not? Okay.
A check of the vehicle's temp tag would show that the vehicle had been issued a permanent plate. In Florida, once that's done, the temp tag is immediately invalidated.
Oh, he's taking the tag off.
It's no good.
That's pretty hardcore.
Okay, so the temporary license plate is expired today and is no longer assigned. You have a new license plate assigned to the vehicle.
Days to get a new license. You put my license plate back?
No, this license plate is no longer assigned to this vehicle.
Yes,
the new license plate is assigned to it.
Okay, well I haven't picked it up yet. That one hasn't expired yet. So you want my license plate back today. So I still got 6 days to go get it. So I would like for you to put that back.
No, that's not how it works.
In the state of Florida, you have up to 6 more days to drive with an expired license plate, temporary. So I need you to put that back before I be suing you.
You can sue me.
Okay, I need to put that back.
When I run the license plate, it's no longer assigned to the vehicle.
It is assigned to the vehicle.
This officer's actually real nice. Just keep watching. He's a nice officer, but yeah.
So I need you to go put that back. It's a temporary. Do you need to see my registration?
No, I don't.
Okay, but I have 30 days. Okay, I have 30 days to get a tip. This just expired today.
Yeah.
So I have 6 more days to get my license plate. Yes, I do.
We're not going to argue on the side of the road so I can get hit by a car.
So you have a license plate to put on my car?
No.
So I need to put that one back.
You need to go get it.
Exactly. So put that back so I can go get it.
It's not assigned to the car. I'm not having
Yes,
this
it is.
discussion.
I have my registration.
All right, this lady does not understand how license plates work in Florida. She was issued a temporary tag that expired on the date of this occurrence. The issue is that the temporary tag is no longer valid once a permanent license plate has been assigned to her vehicle. The officer checked his system and it shows that indeed her vehicle has been assigned a permanent license plate. That means that her temporary tag is no longer valid. So the Department of Motor Vehicles has issued her car its permanent license plate. And when it does this, it invalidates the temporary tag. She can no longer drive with it. She needs to go pick up her permanent license plate.
You're getting a ticket today for speeding?
We can go in front of the judge and we can explain how you were speeding today. There's a fine that you can pay, or call the number to traffic court.
Just
fucking listen.
Yes, you are.
I
No.
have my registration in
You're free
here.
to go.
Would
You're
you
free
never
to go.
ask for it?
I don't need it. You're free
Yes,
to go.
you do. It's a temporary license plate. You're not supposed to.
You are free to go. Free to go. He said how many times, you guys? Just listen. This is crazy. We shouldn't act like this as people.
Free to go.
I need my license plate, sir.
I wish an officer would tell me I am free to go. Why would you stay there and argue with him? This picture right here just encapsulates it all, right? Why are you on the side of the road jawboning with this cop? Just take your citation, go to court, and argue about it then. If an officer tells me that I'm free to go, I'm gone.
I need my license plate. How am I going to drive without a license plate? Make it make sense.
Just drive.
I need a license plate. How am I going to go drive without a license plate?
Now, this is an interesting point. The officer's telling her she's free to go. She can just drive away. She's saying, well, how can I drive without my temporary tag? The issue is that her temporary tag wasn't valid in the first place. The system has already issued her vehicle its permanent plate. So just drive away, and if you get pulled over, show the new officer that you've already received a citation, and he'll let you go on your way. She doesn't want to do that, though. She wants to argue. She says she has a registration. Her registration doesn't have anything to do with that tag. Your registration just proves that the car is registered to someone and that all the taxes and fees have been paid. Your permanent tag, however, proves that your vehicle
Right,
has been
the
assigned
victim mentality every time. But he said, "Go home." I guess she was so caught up in that damn 6-day bullshit. Just go home. This shit crazy.
May be operated on the
Just
road.
go
at that
home.
time. So her showing her registration doesn't have anything to do with her temporary tag being invalid.
Not talking anymore. You're free to go. Get back in your
Oh my God! What the?
You're not supposed to do that. I need my license plate back on my car. I have 6 days.
She doesn't have 6 days.
You're not supposed to do that. You racist.
If you don't get back in your car, you're arrested.
Get back in the car, or you'll get arrested. Oh my gosh, man.
Oh, she said, I will shoot your ass. In Georgia, we call that a terroristic threat.
I'm gonna play it again so you guys can hear it. I was talking on that.
Doesn't have 6 days.
You're not supposed to do that. You racist.
If you don't get back in your car, you're arrested. If you get back in your car, back in your car. Get back in the car.
Oh, she said, I will shoot your ass. In Georgia, we call that a terroristic threat. That's punishable by up to 10 years in prison.
I'm a license. What's wrong with you? Get the f out my face. If I slap your get the f out my face. Don't touch me.
Oh.
Get the f out my face.
Damn.
Get your f out my face. Don't touch me. If I don't touch you, don't touch me. Simple.
Big girl ain't having it. He's called for.
You'll be arrested.
For what? What are you arresting me for?
Get out of the car.
Cause you an idiot.
Get out of the car.
What are you arresting me for?
For being an
What are you arresting
idiot.
me for? I need to know. What are you arresting me for?
Get back in the car.
What are you arresting? Okay, so what? I can stand out in the street if I want to.
She's screaming, what are you arresting me for? What are you arresting me for? And we see this a lot, don't we? People assume that they have the right to know before.
But she could have went home. She could have went home. No cuffs, no arrest, no aggression, no nothing. Just went home. Got out the car. He could have shot her by getting out the car.
Before the arrest occurs, what the arrest is for. Guys, that's generally not the case. You don't have a constitutional right to know what you're being arrested for before the arrest occurs. Now, the officer has to have probable cause to effectuate that arrest, but the officer doesn't need to explain to you what that probable cause is. And generally speaking, you only have the right to know what you've been arrested for after control has been maintained of the situation, or during your transport to the jail, or at the jail in booking, or even at your first appearance. Police officers have latitude in informing you what your arrest is for, but you certainly don't have a right to know it before you have been arrested and put in handcuffs. This lady is confused about her rights upon getting arrested. She's confused about her rights of freedom of speech. She thinks terroristic threats are covered, and she's confused about how her temporary tag works. And then on top of all of this confusion, she has a nasty attitude. It's crazy that we have to live with people like this in our community.
I can stand on the street. I can stand on the street
street. Do I have a gun? No, I don't. So you can't arrest me. Let me go. Let me go. I have kids. Let me go.
Oh, she's got kids.
Let me go, because you arrest me for no reason. Let me go.
How do you think her kids are learning about respect for police officers? How do you think they're learning about respect for authority? Put the word blessed in the comments if you weren't raised with a parent like this, because that is absolutely a blessing.
Now, let me go. I'm not resisting. You arrest me for no reason. Stop.
Oh, she said she gonna call her people.
Do not call me. I'm gonna call my people.
Okay.
Let me go.
You can sit here until my backup gets here. We're not gonna call anybody.
You stupid? Don't touch me.
So you're gonna call
I'm gonna call my people. Say, come get my kids. Are you stupid?
Oh, the kids are in the car. Oh no, the kids are watching all this. We have another contestant for Worst Mother of the Year. Imagine this being your role model to learn how to conduct yourself as an adult. These kids are in the hole from the start.
So I go get my kids. Are you stupid? I have 2 kids.
Damn. Oh no.
Don't touch me. Say, back up.
Are you stupid? Are you goofy?
Don't touch me.
I will say this, shout out to this officer. Now, I'm not going to lie, when this lady stepped out, she looked all of 215, 220. This is a big girl. Having said that, I am sure this officer could take her. Now, it'd be a nasty fight, but this officer could drag her out of that car and put her in handcuffs if he wanted to. But this officer is showing immense restraint. There are 2 children in that car. He's called for backup, he's waiting on it, and he's not going to escalate the situation. Shout out to this officer for his patience and for his superb professionalism.
You're making this worse.
You're making it worse because I didn't touch you, so don't touch me.
You're making this worse than you.
Don't touch me. I'm calling my family. Say, come get my kids. Are you stupid?
Get out of the car.
Don't touch me.
Get out of the car.
Don't touch me.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Don't touch me.
Get out of the car.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Stop trying to touch my phone.
You're really making this
Stop
worse
trying to
than
touch
it
my
needs to be.
phone.
Right.
I have the right to use my phone. This is my
You don't have a right to use your phone. And in fact, using your phone can escalate the situation. You're going to call your family members down here. How are they going to act? Are they also not going to listen to the officer? Are they also going to be belligerent? Are they also going to threaten to shoot this police officer? If she wants to call somebody to pick up her kids, that's fine. But she needs to do that after she has been placed in handcuffs and the situation is under control.
You are under arrest. I'm telling you right now.
I'm not under arrest for anything.
You are resisting.
I'm not under arrest for anything.
You are under arrest.
Back up. Let me go, sir.
You're going to
Let
get
me go.
tased.
Let me
You're
go.
going to get tased. You
For
want to
what?
get tased on
So
your
you
job?
want to sue? I can sue you?
Because
I can sue you? You arrest me for no reason. You arrest me for no reason. You arrested me for no reason.
Order 26V. I'm trying to go 1015. She's resisting. Get somebody here
I'm trying
standing
to
team.
come get my kids. I have 2 kids in here.
Let go.
Oh my God.
And get out of the
I
car.
have 2 kids in here.
Now she got kids. My kids. My kids. You could have with your stupid ass in the house. He said leave. He walked from the car. He went to his car to drive off. He went to, come on,
Get out of the car.
This shit funny. Oh man, it's Friday. This shit's funny.
No, I'm not getting out of my car. I'm not getting out of my car. I didn't touch you. I didn't touch you. Don't touch me.
This officer says this is incredible. And it is. It is so hard to believe. The officer told her 3, 4, 5, 6 times, you're free to go. Just go. You got your kids in the car. Just go home. She wouldn't do it. And now look, she's about to be arrested. And for what? This makes absolutely no sense.
Don't touch me. You arrest me for nothing. I said shoot you. That's not okay. So what? It's a freedom of speech, sir. It's a freedom of speech, sir. I can say what I want in my mouth. It's a freedom of speech. You're mad? You're mad because you're racist? You're mad because you're racist?
He gonna shoot. You want to shoot it, but he's racist. How that works?
Don't touch me. Like I
I'm gonna
said,
shoot you.
Don't touch me.
And again, this officer.
Now he
showing
wants to
a lot of
arrest you. Now
restraint.
he's a
If this
racist.
woman
Oh
was a
wow.
man, do you think it would happen like this? It would not. This officer
No, he would snatch them
absolutely
up.
grabbed that man out of that vehicle. It would have been some tasing going on. There could have been some baton action. There could have been a fight. But a lot of times, officers will take it easier on women, especially if there are kids in the car. So this officer is just letting cooler heads prevail. He's just waiting on his backup. He is not going to try to take this 225-pound woman mano a mano. He's not going to do it. I think that's the perfect call in this situation.
Don't touch
She's
me.
looking for that
Don't
phone.
touch me. Once your other officers get here, don't touch me. I'll let them arrest me. You don't touch me.
You're funny.
You don't touch me.
Said you're
You
funny.
don't touch me. Stop touching me.
She a big girl.
Stop touching me. Stop touching me. Stop touching me.
Parsons, just north of Jersey.
Stop touching me. I don't want you touching me. Don't touch me. I'm over here by Deer Street, by my house. He's arrested because I told him I'm gonna shoot him, and I don't care. Cause you're racist, sir. You're racist. I got my license. I don't care. I got a registered license. I got a registered license. Don't text me. Don't text me. He's touching me, and I told him not to touch me.
Is that a neighbor?
No, I'm not. I got kids. I'm not going nowhere without my kids. No.
Now she cares about her kids.
Right. Like and subscribe, everybody. Like and subscribe.
I don't want you to touch me. I don't want you to touch me. I left my phone up against the clock. Can you please come get my kids, Ronnie?
Oh, now the kids are crying.
It's okay. I'm telling you, it's okay. It's okay. Don't cry. Do not cry. I love you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't cry.
Now she apologized.
I love you. I'm sorry.
She could be at home right now. She chose to stay there and argue.
He took my license out of my car for no reason. I have 6 days to get a license plate. It just expired today. Why did he take my license plate?
Again, she keeps saying 6 days, 6 days. Guys, that's not a thing. To really explain it, your temporary tag means absolutely nothing compared to the DMV system. If the system says your car has been issued a permanent plate, that's it. Your temporary tag is dead. It doesn't matter the expiration date that's shown on the tag. It could have expired 2 days ago. It could expire today. It could expire in a week. If the system shows that the permanent plate has been issued, your temporary tag is no longer valid. It's like if you go to an airport and you get a boarding pass that says your plane is going to leave at gate B12. That's what the boarding pass says. But then if Delta changes your gate from B12 to C4, well, now it's C4 and your boarding pass doesn't matter at all. The only thing that matters is the system. And if the system says your gate is C4, it's C4, no matter what your boarding pass says. It's the same thing here. She keeps saying she's got 6 days, 6 days. No, the DMV system has already issued her vehicle its permanent plate. That means that her temporary tag is just like that boarding pass. It doesn't matter at all. It's invalid. Throw it away. That's why the cop went back there and took it. She doesn't need it anymore.
I'm not supposed to take my license plate. How am I going to drive without my license plate?
I'm right here.
You're not understanding what he did. He took my license plate off my car. In the state of Florida, you have 6 days to get a new license plate. It just expired today. It's not even expired yet, but today is the
Shut your pie hole for a second. I can't do
Shut the fuck up.
I got it. I'm talking to you.
You are yelling.
My car. She got out of her car, started walking towards me, said that she was going to shoot me, started calling me all kinds of racist names because I took her expired temporary license plate. I tried to 10-15 her. She got back in the car. She started talking. She wanted to get out.
My license plate expired today. It's not even the end of the day yet.
He said, shut your pie hole.
What's up, Liberty? What up? What up? Don Lemon arrested.
Imagine if this was your mother.
This lady could have went home. She decided to argue with the cop. He told her about 5 times to go home. She don't want to listen. Now, she still don't want to listen. Like 5 different officers telling the same thing. Your place expired. Man.
I understand for 26. You cannot do that. So you're going to jail. I'm telling you, I'm suing y'all. I am definitely suing y'all. I'm not saying. I am suing.
Thank you. Thank you.
My phone. Yeah, I'm suing you, sir.
You did that already? No, I didn't.
I'm suing you.
The gloves weren't just the body suit, so I think that it's. Take a step back. I don't think she has any pockets.
Well, I'm not spraying my legs.
Like and subscribe, everybody. Like and subscribe. Happy Friday. Let's get to 1,000.
Spread your legs. You got all these kids. I know you're used to it.
No, step back. The partner did illegal. He did illegal.
I have it down, but we're gonna figure it out.
He took my license plate for no reason. Today's the 26th. Why did he take my license plate? Today.
I have it in here.
Okay. That's not expired, is it? I'm confused. Is that expired?
imagine being with someone that screams all the time. She said she was going to call her people to pick up the kids. She said she was going to call her granny to pick up the kids. I noticed she didn't say she was going to call the father. Why isn't the father coming to pick up the kids? Could you be in a relationship with this woman?
That's illegal. I'm trying to stand my legs. I can't stand up like that.
I came in home a long time ago.
Okay, take it to me, okay? So, once
Just want to body so she should be good.
I'll help you out. I'll figure it out. I'll be able to explain it to you. I'll be able to explain it to you. I will be able to explain it to you once I know what's going on.
Okay, I understand.
All right.
But I want to ask you a question.
Yep.
If my license plate expired today, I have until tomorrow to get a license plate, right?
We're gonna get in the car, okay? Problem is, she's big. She got out of the car as I was walking back to the car and said that she was going to shoot me. She needed her temp tag back and all kinds
Right.
of stuff. I took her out of the car and under arrest.
Yep. Happy Friday.
I just held on to her the whole time because I wasn't going to.
Happy Friday. Yeah, stupid people, stupid prizes. Stupid thing. Yeah.
I just got here. Somebody's calling.
I said it wrong, but yep.
Hey. All right.
Goodness, here we go.
They probably like, Mom, at it again. They probably used to this. Mom, at it again.
Down here.
Somebody's been calling. I don't know who it is. They said it was Grandma, but
Call Grandma.
Yeah, because I don't. It's locked. Yeah, I saw that.
all right. We're gonna get somebody here for you, okay?
So when he told me, you told me you were stopped for. He said for speeding.
For speeding.
All right, so he was probably giving you a warning for that or whatever.
Now she's
He
calm.
said tag expired today.
Right.
However,
Today's not over yet.
Shut up.
Let me finish. However, he said it's been replaced.
I didn't know that. They didn't tell me that. It's a temporary tag.
Okay, but what happens is when it gets replaced, that temporary tag becomes no good at that point.
Exactly.
Because now the car belongs to
Right.
the new tag. Whatever it is, a new temp tag, a new hard tag, whatever.
You guys have any water or anything?
Look at him. He's chilling.
I'm telling you, he used to this shit. He like, man, Mom, at it again. She's at it again.
Look at her eyelashes.
Of the screaming and yelling and whatever
How's that?
transpired.
For me screaming.
Forrest Gump, huh?
You threatened him with
I did.
multiple things.
I did threaten him.
So-
That's not illegal.
When you threaten to shoot somebody,
That's not illegal.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's not. If I don't actually do it, it's not illegal. I can say what I want in my mouth.
In Georgia, that's terroristic threats.
If you shoot someone, it's illegal. But saying it doesn't put action into it. Actually doing it does. But I did not actually shoot him, so that's not an actual arrest.
I got you.
Who actually
So I'm
told
trying to understand what I'm going to jail for.
Once we get all that sorted out, I've been back
I
here with
didn't
you
touch him.
almost the whole time.
You can watch his camera. I
Same,
didn't touch him.
same with him. He got here way after me.
All right, hang out right here for me for a second, okay?
How long is my mom going to get here?
Damn.
Sweetheart, I don't even know what's going on yet, okay?
He said, well, I'm taking it. I said, you can't do that. I said, when did it expire? He said, today. I said, today's not over. I could see if it was the 27th. That's different. But today hasn't ended, and it's a temporary license plate. It's not like it's a hard plate. It's a temporary license plate. And he said, no, I'm not getting. I said, sir, you need to get my license plate back. And that's when I got out of the vehicle. I said, can you get my license plate back? He said, no. I said, you raise it, I will shoot you. And then he came and grabbed me. I said, what are you grabbing me for? He said, because I told you to get in the car. I said, okay, I can stand in the road if I want to. It's not illegal to stand in the road. He said, well, I'm going to arrest you. I said, for what? He said,
Ain't no point in calling a lawyer for yourself. You just straight told on yourself.
get out of the car. I said, I'm not leaving my kids in this car. So I'm trying to understand where and when did that
Apparently with resisting without violence and assault
crazy.
on a law enforcement officer. Again, this whole situation makes absolutely no sense. The officer told her time and time again, just go home. You're free to go. Just leave. She wouldn't do it. And now she's in the back of a patrol car and her kids have to be picked up by grandma. Do you think she learned a lesson from this? Absolutely not. She's playing the race car. This officer was extremely professional to her and really thought more about her kids than she did. He didn't tase her, he didn't use his baton, he didn't escalate the situation to scare the kids. Of course, this is all still traumatizing, and you know it's bad when the son has to look up and ask the police officer, how long is my mom gonna be in jail? This is absolutely terrible. Now, despite how morally reprehensible it is, legally speaking, she's only charged with 2 misdemeanors. For something like this, there's typically no jail time and just fines and some probation. Maybe if the judge sees the body cam, then this lady will be ordered to do some anger management classes or even a parenting class. Her putting her kids in this situation is absolutely terrible. Apart from any court fines or court fees, there might be some community service thrown in.
Should have
That's
Don's
gonna be
lemon.
about it. What do you think? Is a sentence requiring no jail time appropriate in this situation? If you were the judge, what would you order? Put your answer in the comments below.
You don't have to answer the question. I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth.
To protest, storm one of your holy houses, Lord. When Lord, our Father who art in heaven,
He from Chicago. He's funny. His name is Brandon.
Thy will be done. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass.
He had a song called Single Mom. It's hilarious.
Deliver us from liberal evil. Lord, I come to you humble. I come to you a vessel. I come to you grateful. Lord knows so many of us believers have had enough. Lord knows so many of us were deeply offended when those people stormed a church to protest, stormed one of your holy houses, Lord, when Lord knows they would never try nothing so foolish in the house for one of those squiggly letter writing people. And then we're talking about here, Lord, accountability. We are so grateful today, Lord, for accountability.
Confirming that former CNN anchor Don Lemon has been arrested by federal agents.
Thank you. I pray that the FBI, the CIA, whoever else is working on it can apprehend the rest of those rioters, the rest of those criminals, because Lord knows those freedom fighters violated the FACE Act, an act that was meant to stop the KKK from intimidating people in their places of worship. So a gay black man has been charged with the KKK Act. Who am I to deny what the Lord can do? In Jesus' name, amen.
You called for Don Lemon's arrest over his church stunt in Minneapolis. He's since called you
Oh, yeah,
racist,
he's very
unhinged,
funny.
homophobic, and out of your depth. Anything you'd like to say to Don Lemon? Or stop.
Damn.
In order to celebrate the arrest of Don Lemon,
Like and subscribe, everybody. Like and subscribe. Let's get to 1,000.
start with the original.
Yep, God is good all the time.
I feel like this is going to be an excellent year for Lemonade. Strawberry. It tastes like justice. I think we just need raspberry.
Yes, Jesus is definitely king.
Blueberry. can I say? They're all delicious. My favorite is the original. My second favorite is the strawberry. Third favorite is the blueberry.
Amen.
Fourth is the raspberry. But I have to give a healthy disclaimer. If I could never have 1 through 3 ever again, 4 would be wonderful. I just never would have thought that lemonade could be so satisfying.
We have breaking news for you. Former CNN anchor Don Lemon was arrested late last night on federal charges tied to a protest earlier this month at a church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Lemon says he was reporting as a journalist when demonstrators interrupted a service to protest immigration enforcement. A magistrate judge previously rejected the case against him, but prosecutors later sought and obtained his arrest. Lemon was taken into custody in Los Angeles and is scheduled to appear in federal court this morning. His lawyer, Abby Lowell, calls the prosecution an unprecedented attack on the First Amendment.
Do you know, everybody who talks about the arrest and the riot in that church, they talk about January 6th. They talk about the fact that he's a journalist. They talk about the First Amendment. Nobody talks about the fact that it was a damn church. You see, this is the Lord's vengeance right here. The Lord tells us we are allowed to get justice, but vengeance is the Lord's game. But the Lord also tells us we will be vessels, and when called upon, we must act. Thank the Lord for all of the vessels that led to the justice. And let this be a lesson to all of you people. Quit disrespecting the damn church. I apologize for all of the propaganda that you've fallen for. I apologize for the people who have turned you off to the Lord. It ain't the Lord's fault, all right, that people use the powerful words sometimes for evil. But the book is good. If you follow the book or try to at least, you'll live a good, healthy life. The Squiggly Letter book, however, will tell you.
Read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Violence. It tells you it several times.
That's all about Jesus.
That good book that tells you that. More importantly, Jesus was so perfect that when he was on the cross, he told the angels, please don't smite these people. They don't know what they're doing. Please stop disrespecting the church. So not only is it satisfying for me as someone who saw the evils of the liberal party and got the hell out of Dodge, it's satisfying for me as a churchgoer. This is truly a good Friday.
They arrested Don Lemon last night while he was working, mind you. The same folks that pardoned all those riders on that early day in January back in 2021, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? They called Don an insurrectionist.
Because it was a church. All y'all are ignoring the key part of this charge. It's because it was a dang church. Do you hear me? I know you don't like to hear me. I know you liberals don't like to believe in the Lord. I know you liberals don't think religion is sacred. But it's a church, and it's the law. You can't do that. I love how you people conveniently leave out facts to suit your narrative. You did it with Renee Good. You did it with Alex Preddy. And now you're doing it with Don Lemon and all these people. It was a damn church.
Trump's federal agents just arrested journalist Don Lemon for doing his job. This goes back to January 18th when
he wasn't doing his job.
Jackman John, okay.
He was at a church.
I love how each chapter gets more and more detail.
Says he was reporting as a journalist when demonstrators.
So my thing is, he said, Jesus, read them 4 chapters
immigration enforcement
over and over.
Reporting as a journalist,
4 books.
Demonstrators erupted. So you went to the church to report?
Went to the church to report?
And they happened to roll through? Or did you roll through with, you see how your story is full of holes? That's what you liberals are, liars. And when you try to piece together the truth, it don't make sense because you lying.
I'll give you guys another Harsh Twins.
100-foot drop. Maybe he's trying to commit suicide. I don't think so. He's just an idiot. Check this video out.
Hello. Hello, sir. Hello. Officer Reconski Greendale, please. Police department. Can you roll down your window for me? So the reason I'm stopping you, you're having a hard time maintaining your lane. Is there a
Like and
reason for that?
subscribe
Or... No?
if you haven't already. Thank you so much.
Where's work at? No, I know. I'm confused.
Oh.
Where you headed? Do you know where you are right now? Who are you? Okay. Do you know what city you're in? Franklin? Okay. So where are you headed? You're just driving around? Here's that back. I'll be right back up, okay?
Definitely. Okay, John.
Back up. How's it going? Oh, fantastic. Guy's got 5 priors. So he can't maintain his lane. Barely had his window open. Could smell the odor. And I'm gonna probably take him back to the lobby.
Do you see that cop blinking right there? Like a damn horror movie playing. What?
It's cold. Makes sense. Well, he can't maintain his lane. Barely had his window open.
That's crazy, right? So this dude's got 5 priors for DUI. Wow. And he's out there doing it again.
Could smell the odor. And I'm gonna probably take him back to the lobby. It's cold. Makes sense. And I can give him the option. We can do either one. But he's just very... Section 9 traffic. Slow and... Yeah, and just not giving me answers and stuff. Just acting a little weird. You have a valid license somehow? It's been a while. Last OWI was in 05. Holy cow. Let's turn this car on. Yep, let's turn this car on. Can you roll down this window, please? Can you roll this down? Turn your car off. Turn your car off. Hey, Brian. Can you do me a favor and step out of the vehicle for me? Huh? No, sir? Why is that?
Same thing here. Same thing, Salty. Same thing, man. I'll be back again. Thank you.
Lawfully telling you to step out of the vehicle. Nope, you have to step out of the vehicle. Open the door. Don't take off. Do not do that. Don't take off. Turn off the car now. It's either you got 2 options. You can step out of the car. I'm going to break this window. He's taking them. Like those options. Yeah. We did it in a safe manner. 22 dispatch. He took off. It's going to be a 55 investigation. Northbound, coming up to Layton. Speed 60, passing Layton. If Greenfield can get sticks up somewhere. And we're passing the interstate, continuing northbound on Loomis. Passing 43rd, and still continuing. Speed just about 50.
Same here, brother. Same here.
Why do you call it, Ellis? We're going to go back southbound. South 1 on Loomis, coming up to 43rd. No traffic.
going southbound again. Cruise, you're trying to go eastbound at 894.
Catching in pursuit of a vehicle for investigation when you found on 894 from Woman.
Yes. Sorry, Scott's you're at 20 miles an hour right now. I don't know what to explain. No, you're not going to be able to get away unless you go to another planet.
Yeah. It just confirmed the registered owner.
Brian J. Anderson out of Hartford.
Screen Hill Police Department for me eastbound 894 from Loomis. Possible 55. Speed's going to be at 60 miles an hour. Traffic is lights. Roads are dry. We're going to be passing 27th Street, continuing eastbound 894. Speeds are at 77 miles an hour. Very light traffic. Roads are dry. Go northbound on 27th Street, road 894. We ran the red light at 27. Continuing northbound on 27th, he is in the left lane. He is also north of the highway. Help me! He's trying to jump the fence over onto the freeway. Help me! Grab that way! Do not do this, man.
Yeah, he's trying to commit suicide. That's what he's doing. He's not trying to get away. I think his depth of field is off. He's like drunk. No, this is like his 5th DUI.
Yeah, but his depth of field.
So you know my life is over? Well, maybe. No, man, this dude's trying to take his own life.
Larry Smith, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much on the super chat. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Steve, grab his. Can you get up? Grab him.
Just hang on, we got more hands coming.
It's okay.
I need hands up here.
No, you don't. You need no hands.
Hands up here.
No, you don't.
That's fine. No, he's gonna fall.
No. Come on, sir. No. Let me sit.
I'm scared of heights. I can't even be up there.
No. Come on. Come on.
Move up.
Let's go.
Move up. Put your hand behind your back now. Bring a taste.
Hey, they saved his life. Now you're going to get tased.
Appreciate it, Larry.
That's one good. Good? 24 taking it. There we go.
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, we're all
everyone's good.
Everyone's good.
Oh, you guys are. That's all. That's Jimmy.
All right, man, stand up.
Let's walk him back to my squad here.
Let's go, Zach.
South Milwaukee.
I wouldn't try to name drop it.
I know.
Oh, okay, so he's name dropping another cop he had an interaction with. Probably the last cop he gave him a DUI.
Yeah, he was trying to stop. He was trying to fuck our friend. He's going to talk to me. That's fine.
The suspect, Brian Anderson, was taken into custody after officers pulled him back to safety during the overpass incident. He was transported for medical evaluation and now faces multiple charges, including OWI 6th offense, second-degree recklessly endangering safety, and fleeing from an officer.
Damn, they're going to charge him for They're going to charge that dude for those cops saving his life. You endangered those. Well, no, that's not what they charge him with. Second-degree reckless endangering safety. Yeah, they're not charging. That's a charge. DUI, fleeing elude. So that means endangering the cops? Yeah, second-degree recklessly endangering safety. Yeah, throw the book at him. Not that it's going to actually matter. He doesn't give a He's been arrested for this for like 6 times. Yeah, he's probably depressed. He's got depression. He's just got a drinking problem, Kevin. And why you think he's drinking? Oh, I stand corrected. Dr. Hodge. Well, I got my moments. Show is over.
When you guys want to abolish ICE, this is what you're asking for. You're asking for more women to die. Your hatred for Donald Trump overshadows the fact that women are getting killed in the street.
If Joe Biden didn't open up our border and allow 10 million unvetted illegal immigrants into this country, then guess what? Donald Trump would not have had to deploy ICE agents in this fashion. Can't have open borders. You can't have criminals going in and out of our borders, affecting our women and Holy Spirit.
That's what you want, right? You want a big, tall, black man. They're flipping us off. They're trying to prevent our voices. They're trying to prevent us from saying their name. Yet it's all about the people they care about. And what about these people? These people matter too.
We are going to make America great again. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And God bless Donald J. Trump. Trump 2028.
Okay. We have something exciting for you guys today. Since they won't have a dialogue and they won't talk to anybody, this is what we're going to do instead. Everybody go ahead.
Good, appreciate it.
You see on the sign right now was killed by
She be
illegal
on it.
immigrants.
She be on it.
Illegal immigrants kill all of these women. Yeah, I've never seen you protest for them. I've never seen you hold a vigil for them. I've never seen you say their name. Say Rachel Warren. Say Jocelyn. This was Rachel Warren. She's a mother of four. She was jogging. An illegal immigrant killed her. This is Laken Riley. What are you doing? These are women. They don't give about the women who have been murdered. That's insane. All of these people were murdered by illegal aliens, guys. All of them are dead. They could have been alive today if ICE had been willing to do their job. They were willing, and Joe Biden prevented them from doing it. What a damn shame. None of you would ever stand for them. None of you. And shame on you. If you guys got your way, more women would be dead. Thank you, President Trump, for defending our country. When you guys want to abolish ICE, this is what you're asking for. You're asking for more women to die, more children to be raped. Come over here and look at their pictures. They were all supposed to be protected, but ICE was not allowed. They were not allowed to do their jobs under the Joe Biden administration. You guys are responsible leaders. You're in my ear. You're in my ear. Make sure your little bitch don't touch my shit. You hear me? Make sure she stops touching me. Don't order a black man around. Me. Hey, you're her handler. Don't order a black man around. Okay? If you're her handler, make sure you handle her.
Damn.
What do you think about this?
I think they're freaking crazy. And they're actually putting their thumbs down to people who actually were murdered. They have such hate in their hearts that they can't see that this is a human being. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's freaking disgusting. And they're the pigs.
Yeah. They're putting their thumbs down. Get the crowd, Justin. Get him right there. You're putting your middle finger up to women who are dead.
About 2 hours in. I think you guys appreciate it.
You're gonna clip them off.
Let's continue.
They are dead. They are dead. Yeah, shame
Like
on
and
all of
subscribe.
the illegal immigrants who killed these women. You guys are responsible for this. Shame on you. Do you care about any of these women?
Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world.
What about that child? What about
Disney.
It's something that you guys definitely will never do.
I'm very sorry about anyone murdered. You know what else I'm sorry for? The rapists that are in Epstein Island and that Trump covers up and that the religious right seem to protect.
Well, let me tell you, okay. They just shout nothing. And then when I try to talk to them, they just put their signs back up. So you have no idea for these women. For them. So we're going to say, pray for the repose of the souls of these women, Mary, Mother of God, now and at the hour of our death.
Handle her like you know how. Don't walk away from her. Handle her like you know.
Jocelyn, Melanie, and Lindsay, and all the other.
Do not touch our stuff. Do not touch our stuff. Handle her like you know how. Handle her. That's what you want, right? You want a big, tall, black man handle. That's what you need.
Wow, this could have been prevented. This could have been prevented.
Right here.
I heard Disney.
Me gusta ir a Disney. Me gusta tanto ir a Disney. Me encanta Disney. Me encanta.
What's important here is giving everybody a fair trial.
What about those women?
They should get a fair trial.
They're dead. They'll never get a trial.
What the
The
fuck?
perpetrators should get a fair trial.
They were supposed, really?
Yes.
They were supposed to be deported.
All citizens get a fair trial.
They aren't citizens. Let me tell you this.
All
All of
people
these
in
women.
this country get a fair trial.
Right. All of these.
All people get a fair trial.
I agree.
All people.
I agree.
Stop spreading your propaganda. Get out of my face. Get out of my face with your propaganda.
They are just so angry when we come out here, we show them the results of what they want. This is what they want. They want another Rachel Morin. They want another Laken Riley. He's covering up their pictures.
This is disturbing. They value illegals more than they value innocent American women and girls. They're protecting illegals and they're blocking the sons of
very
innocent
smart at
American
all.
women killed and raped, bludgeoned with rocks over their head. Laken Riley struggled for how long? 8, 9 minutes? 20 minutes? 20 minutes. And they'd rather hold up their stupid anti-ICE signs than honor these women. It's a shame.
You should be ashamed of yourself. This just further goes to prove that you guys don't actually believe in anything that you say. You want to talk about victims, you want to talk about coming out here protecting people, standing up for people, having vigils. But when it comes to we bring instances of other women who were murdered by the people that you so staunchly defend. What do you get out of defending murderers and rapists out here who are not supposed to be in our country? Nearly every single person up here on this side was murdered by somebody who was caught by ICE and then released under the Joe Biden administration. Every single woman up here was murdered in 2024. Notice we don't really hear about that stuff happening anymore. If we had secured the border, they wouldn't have been able to come in. And if ICE had been able to do their jobs, they also would not have been able to stay in this country.
Thank you so much.
Justice for these 4 women and the dozens and the hundreds of people who were killed every year by illegal aliens in this country. Do you think they should get justice? This must be like one of their therapy things.
What was your name?
My name is Caitlin.
Caitlin?
Caitlin.
What was your last name?
What do you want? Are you a journalist?
I was just curious. You asked
Yeah,
me
my name is Caitlin. I'm with Liberty Hangout. Yes.
I believe I've heard of you before, no?
Yes. What do you think about these women up here on these signs?
These women up here on the sides. No, this reminds me of Caitlin. Didn't you divorce your husband? Isn't that like not good in the Christian household? Why aren't you a traditional wife?
I divorced my husband?
Yeah, because you got right? You're not supposed to divorce your husband. That's not traditional.
Hey Justin, did you know we got a divorce?
Hold on, isn't that crazy? That you got abused by your husband and you still want women to stay with their husbands after they get abused?
And then they got.
Is that crazy? Oh yeah, it's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, where'd
Just
you
trying to
read
flip
that?
it.
So I'm like, I think he was hoping that I was divorced because look at all the women out here. They're not very good looking, I will say. They're not sending their most beautiful people out here.
And just know that you can't have open borders. You can't have criminals going in and out of our borders, affecting our women and Holy Spirit. I pray that they just find Jesus like I did. I was a Democrat for a long time until I found Jesus. And I just want to tell every single person here that Jesus is real. Jesus loves you.
What's up, Michael? Good evening. What's up?
We want you to be protected and safe and secure. It's the same way we want closed borders so that we're protected, safe, and secure. So wake them up, God, because clearly they have spiritual blindness, and the only person that wants open borders is a person that loves Satan and sons of Satan, which clearly these people are. In Jesus' name. Let me just say this. Under Joe Biden, 10 million people came in here illegally. 2 million were qualified for seeking asylum, just under Joe Biden. The only reason these people care is because these people, for a pathway of citizenship, are supposed to vote Democrat. And that's just the last 4 years. We're not talking about 40 years ago of 50 illegal immigrants. We're talking just in the last 4 years. Keep the 2 million people here that are seeking asylum, qualified for seeking asylum, and the other 8 million that are supposed to vote Democrat, deport them. Them, their wife, their kids, and the most humane way of doing this is self-deport.
Oh, well, I kind of disagree. We can deport everybody.
All right, guys, so here's the deal. I'm going to spell it out for you. I'm an immigrant from Mexico. I came here legally. All we want is for other immigrants to come here legally. That's it. Come here legally like I did. There's a process. If Joe Biden didn't open up our border and allow 10 million unvetted illegal immigrants into this country, then guess what? Donald Trump would not have had to deploy ICE agents in this fashion. But you guys love the fraud. You love when American citizens get diluted. You love watching our culture get washed away. We're not going to let it happen anymore. As Donald Trump famously said, we are going to make America great again. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And God bless Donald J. Trump. Trump 2028.
What did you say?
God bless Trump, amen. God bless Trump.
She said, I hope Trump.
Dead.
You said you hope Trump drops dead today? She said, yes, I did say that. Okay, this is Faith. Come out front. Everybody hold your signs up for Faith.
Legal immigration is the only type of immigration that we need in our country. Legal immigration. Legal immigration is the only type of immigration. I stand from 2 lines of immigrants, and they came here through Ellis Island the way they were supposed to come. And now you have these illegals coming into our country and murdering our women. You guys are supposed to be pro-women. You're feminists. Why are you not outraged that women get hit with rocks when they go on a run? Why are you not outraged that these women are getting killed in the street? Why? It's because your hatred for Donald Trump overshadows the fact
it's funny. They're saying her name was Renee Good. Her name was Laken Riley. Look, get their reactions, Justin. They're so angry. You know, this is their reaction. When we show them the women, Justin, get this woman. All they had to do was just acknowledge and hold space for these women, and they couldn't do it. They're flipping us off. They're trying to prevent our voices. They're trying to prevent us from saying their name. Yet it's all about the people they care about. But what about these people? These people matter too. And it's a shame. I am so disgusted that we even have to put Laken Riley's photo out here and say, look at what you guys support. It's disgusting. And what a shame that it has to happen. I hated making these signs. What a shame. It was disgusting. Every single woman on this sign was killed by an illegal alien who was supposed to already be deported. That's the most disgusting thing out here. They were caught by ICE officers, but under Joe Biden's administration, they were not allowed to be deported. They were caught and they were released. Trump has ended that practice. In Minneapolis alone, just over the weekend, they have captured hundreds of child rapists, murderers, people with convicted felons. In the state of Florida alone, 6,000 convicted criminals and people with rap sheets have been deported out of our state.
Let's just have a debate. Let's just have a debate. Let's just have a debate. Come on. Hey.
Debating?
No.
Yeah, Caitlin, she be on it.
No Nazis in this country.
Her and Nick
We
Shirley.
shouldn't have Nazis in this country.
How am I a Nazi? Ma'am, could I ask how I'm a Nazi? How can you be holding the sign of a woman who was murdered and then accuse me of being a Nazi?
Like Renee.
What?
Like Renee.
I don't think Renee was a Nazi.
No, she was not a Nazi. No. She was against Nazis.
Right.
Like,
I'm also.
They?
I think we actually have a lot in common.
She's really an idiot, and she has 2 children, and she's bringing them up in a pedophile felon president administration.
Give me your proof. Where's your proof for that? You know who is a proven pedophile? The illegal alien who was supposed to be deported, but he was caught and released under Joe Biden's administration. He is a pedophile, and he raped and he murdered this little girl. No, there were 2 of them. They don't care about protecting them. Would she care about Laken Riley if she was her neighbor? Would she care about that? And then it says ICE, F those people, F ICE. ICE is shooting unarmed women. ICE is not welcome here, but I tell you what, we are in Florida, baby, and ICE is welcome here. ICE in this state, the local police have partnered with ICE. They have conducted the largest immigration sweep just in 2025. 10,400 illegals were arrested by the DeSantis administration here in Florida. 6,000 of those people were criminal aliens with rap sheets, and they have convictions. And so thank you, Ron DeSantis. Thank you, ICE. Thank you to our local law enforcement that partner with them to keep our state safe. All right, it's actually a very low turnout. I'm actually very disappointed, right? What a low turnout.
Small.
But we're in Florida.
I would say micro.
It's funny. Yeah, they have a sign that says micro, whatever. They love thinking about people in sexual ways. This is a micro protest. There are not very many people out here. This is an open invitation to anybody who would like to come and have a discussion. No, they're shaking their heads no. We could have a discussion about this. I am willing to talk to any single person that wants to talk to me. We can talk about Renee. We can talk about these women over here.
Get out of the road. Stay on this side of the phone.
I am more than willing, and I want to talk to you. I want to talk to every single person. That's my goal. That is what I do. And I think it's incredibly sad that there is an older woman here that has escaped from the assisted living facility trying to drown out conversation in an invitation to talk. Why can't we talk about this stuff, guys? Why can't we have conversations? I know you guys are so passionate that you have a lot to say, but I think you guys are wrong, and that's okay. I respectfully disagree with the people protesting ICE today, and I am willing and I want to talk to every single one of them. But you guys can't do it, can you?
No.
Civil dialogue scares you guys.
Facts is their kryptonite. The facts hurt them. They get all weird and shit and start yelling and blowing whistles. That's amazing.
If you guys are unafraid and unashamed of your support for America First and for ICE, you go to lhmerch.com. I have a brand new America First pro-ICE line out right now, and I'm so thankful for it.
Michael
Since I
Brain's
am
right.
feeling very generous today, you can get 20.
And then the thing about it is, half of America, we voted for this. So how y'all going against what we voted for? It makes no sense. And it's legal. It's yeah. It's Friday.
6% off with the code New Year there to save on New Year's sale. So thank you guys for supporting my work. Do not be afraid to stand up for what is right. Okay, so you have a YouTube channel, right?
I do.
Okay, shout it out.
All right, my YouTube is Freedom and Whiskey 1776.
Adam, you need no introduction, but go ahead. Where can people find you?
Adam Francisco on all platforms. Thank you so much for following. And God bless this woman. This was a great idea, Caitlin. I think we made an impact, and I think they might have hesitation now, some of them. So we'll see what happens.
What happened? All right, you guys know this guy. He's the Disney guy. Where can they find you?
You can find me at Disney. Where can they find? Subscribe. Never woke on all platforms, but subscribe to her. She's awesome.
Thank you so much.
1, 2, 3.
We love ICE. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've lost my voice from shouting in defense of women who were killed by illegal aliens, so excuse me. Hit that notification bell. We have a lot of content to come out from all of these anti-ICE protests. Thank you guys for watching. If you support my content, hit that subscribe button and the like button as well.
Let's see your head.
What y'all think about this?
We've also got some breaking news right now, so I want to check in with CBS's Mark Strassman. He is in Georgia, where they're having a big problem counting some of the votes. Mark?
Nora, this is an election return watch party here on the edge of Atlanta. These are mostly excited Democrats because when's the last time Georgia thought of itself as a battleground state? After record early returns and essentially a day of problem-free voting, there is now a hitch in the tabulation of votes. I'm standing in Fulton County. Fulton County includes a chunk of Atlanta. Downtown Atlanta is State Farm Arena where the Atlanta Hawks play. They are tabulating the absentee ballots of Fulton County, Georgia's most populous county. A water pipe has broken inside the arena. They have counted 86,000 absentee ballots. We don't know how many more they have yet to tabulate, but all the tabulation of those ballots has now stopped. We're told by election officials they may not finish tabulating those votes for a day or two.
A few years later,
you've also found many bags of information. I think they call them burn bags. They're supposed to be burned and they didn't get burned.
That's crazy, man.
Corrupt the 2020 election.
Thank you guys for staying with me. Thank you guys for staying with me.
Mr. President, I will
Appreciate
be
it.
the first to brief you
Thank
once
you,
we
thank
have
you.
that information collected. But you're right. It's we are finding documents literally tucked away in the back of safes and random offices in these bags and in other areas, which again speaks to the intent of those who are trying to hide the truth from the American people.
Going inside of the election
There's a lot going on around here.
Our photographer was able to go inside. He was let inside and allowed to be up and close.
Hey everybody, so here's an update. We're at the elections hub right here off Fairman Road, and they did correct the warrant, and they are now in there getting the documents. 700 boxes of 2020 ballots and accompanying things that go with it. You know, absentee ballots, all the things, right? So our clerk of Superior Court, Shay Alexander, is in there making a log of everything that they're taking, but this is like all wrong. So we're trying to figure out a legal plan, and we should have one, whether that's an injunction, whether a motion to quash, I mean, whatever it is, we're trying to figure it out right now, because this is an attack on our elections, meant to keep you from trying to go to the polls in November, being too afraid to change what's going on in our nation. So instead of worrying about people dying in Minnesota, here we are at the Fulton County Elections Hub. So let me go find out what the legal plan is.
Boy. We got to talk about the full-blown meltdown and panic that is currently happening out in Fulton County, Georgia, okay? Democrats are losing their minds over the fact that the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, is personally on the ground in Georgia investigating the 2020 election after getting a court-authorized search warrant and having the FBI execute this warrant. They literally were in the offices of the Fulton County Election Hub and Operations Center in Georgia, seizing records and ballots, right? Physical ballots, voting machine, tabulator tapes, ballot images, and voter rolls. Again, after the warrant was signed by a federal magistrate judge, which means that, hey, this warrant was legit, right? This wasn't just the FBI or Tulsi Gabbard deciding that they're going to show up and randomly do it. That means they presented enough evidence to a judge to sign off on this and say, yeah, this warrants more investigation, okay? And
thank you, man. And get to 1,000. You see it, man. Thank you.
In Fulton County, and also the recent coverage of officials in Georgia, in Fulton County, basically admitting that, we didn't properly count the ballots that came out of Fulton County. And clearly, they have not done a good job at keeping records and doing what they're supposed to do in order to ensure that the votes were counted properly.
I've not seen the tapes myself, but we do not dispute that the tapes were not signed. It was a violation of the rule. Since 2020, again, we have new leadership and a new building and a new board and new standard operating procedures. And since then, the training has been enhanced. The poll watchers are trained specifically. They've got to sign the tapes in the morning, and they've got to sign the tapes when they're run at the end of the day. When the tapes come back to the hub for, with all the documentation, they are checked again. And if somebody forgot to sign a tape, then Fulton initiates an investigation. But we don't dispute the allegation.
What?
Does the investigation confirm that there are missing ballot images?
Yes.
Do you know why 380,761 ballot images from Election Day machine count are not available?
We subpoenaed Fulton County for all of their ballot images. We received approximately 518,000 ballot images.
From Election Day?
Those are for the recount.
Those are from the recount, but we have no ballot images for 380,761 ballots from Election Day, correct?
What was subpoenaed was the ballot images for the recount, because that's what this case was about, not the election day.
Does Fulton County know why there are not 380,761 ballot images from Election Day?
As with the investigators, we have not been apprised of this allegation. This is the first I'm hearing about it. I have no idea what the basis of that allegation is, and so we would have to answer that at this time.
Would Fulton County agree that every vote should have a ballot image?
Yeah. So what you saw
Hey, Liberty, I'm gonna play something for you for the Epstein files. I got you. I got somebody that's talking about it. I got you.
Was Fulton County admitting that, hey, we don't
I'm gonna play it after this one.
that 350,000 votes were lacking poll worker signatures and they were counted in 2020, right? Basically, there was not proper chain of custody. And because of that, these votes should not have counted, right? 315,000 votes that were counted that should not have been counted, okay? That affected the outcome of the election. We know this for a fact. We know this. Now, nobody's been held accountable for this, at least up until now, right? Because, again, this is a criminal investigation into what happened. And trust and believe, this is not just about 2020, but it's about 2026, 2028, future elections where, Democrats are probably going to try to pull some shenanigans because they're desperate at this point, right? They're going to do whatever they can in order to win. So we got to get ahead of this stuff. And because we're getting ahead of it, Democrats in the mainstream little media, MSNBC, BS Now, they're in full-blown panic. Okay, they're melting down. Everybody in media is melting down right now over Tulsi Gabbard being personally involved in this investigation. Take a look.
Let's get right to our MS Now team. Josh Einiger on the ground in Fulton County. Also with us, political contributor Greg Bluestein of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, who was at the Fulton County facility while the FBI was on scene. And also joining us, national security analyst and former FBI special agent Michael Feinberg. Josh, the county commissioner says the FBI took pallets of ballots. So what exactly did
We'll get to this. I'll get back to that. Let's see.
Foundation. I've not come to Bill Gates and Russ and communicate this in sort of family-friendly terms, just so this video doesn't get taken down. So if you Bill Gates and Russia, Prince Andrew, and President Trump.
Today we are producing more than 3 million pages, including more than 2,000 videos and 180,000 images. In total, that means that the department produced approximately 3.5 million pages in compliance with the act.
So this was a big dump today. A lot of it is redacted. I've been scouring, devouring, and I really think I've located the most, interesting, to say the least. I'm going to try to define this and communicate this in sort of family-friendly terms, just so, this video doesn't get taken down. So if you hear words or language that seems to have been bleeped out or what have you, this is why, because I have to give you a fair warning. A lot of this stuff is graphic in nature. So if you're ready, here we go. Jeffrey Epstein claimed in July of 2013 that Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates, one of the world's richest men, asked one of his advisors to provide him with medicine to treat transmitted diseases, the consequences of with Russian girls. Epstein appeared to be making the claims in a draft statement on behalf of Gates' longtime science advisor, Boris Nikolic, announcing his intent to leave the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. As you can see in this email, Epstein says, I've decided to resign my position effective immediately with the Bill Gates Foundation. I've not come to this decision quickly or without a great deal of thought. During the past few weeks, I've been caught up in a severe marital dispute between Melinda and Bill. I have the greatest respect for my friend of 7 years and wish them both well. In my role as his right hand, I had been asked on multiple occasions and in hindsight wrongly acquiesced into participating in things that have ranged from morally inappropriate to the ethically unsound, and had been repeatedly asked to do other things that get near and potentially over the line into the illegal. Though it was kindly suggested that I make a transition to a new position after my 6 years of service, and that Bill would, in his words, give me a generous package. Here's where it gets really interesting, the highlighted portion. I feel it would be dishonest to myself and my future from helping Bill to get DRUGS in order to deal with consequences of with Russian girls, to facilitating his illicit trysts with married women, to being asked to provide Adderall for bridge tournaments. I feel I owe it to my friends and future colleagues to admit a moral failure, to ask forgiveness, and to move on with my life. If you look at the top of the screen, this is to himself. He's writing this email to himself Thursday, July 18th, 2013 at 12:39 p.m. local time. I don't know if he was in Miami at that time or what have you. In a separate draft email, Epstein, as Nikolic, accused the billionaire of engineering a cover-up so that you can maintain the reputation that you have worked up. Check this out. This is probably the most damning, if anything. And I'm going to kind of just skip through a little bit. He seems very, somebody who is scorned, somebody who is disgruntled, somebody who's very upset at Bill. And I'm just going to kind of fast forward. I confessed to Melinda, you didn't. It was in a moment of weakness, and I will do anything with my power to make it right for you. I have more money than anyone needs, and I assure you I will structure something so that you will not be penalized for my error. Lucky for me, I have enough money to provide to you, though it will not heal the injury. It will make you secure in your future. In addition, I will bend over backwards to make sure your next career is rewarding and on an upswing. I appreciate the fact that this drastically alters your plans, and I'm very aware of the career path you gave up to join the foundation. I'm very sorry, but as I believe time heals all wounds, this will eventually pass. Is that in that regard, I suggest I buy you the house that you had your heart set on, and in addition, for 5 years of severance, we'll buy you out of the investment contract, 30-40% of a $100 million partnership for $30 million in today's dollars. Terms and conditions to be agreed. That's what I would have done had I been in your shoes. What I did receive, however, was an unfriendly, strongly worded email telling me how employable I am and that I should not look to you for any significant financial help in the future. And this is where he gets really, really upset. To add insult to injury, you then implore me to please delete emails regarding your STD. You request that I provide you antibiotics that you can surreptitiously give to Melinda.
Nasty.
And the description of your... You also made it clear, that's PENIS. You also made it clear to me that I'm not to refer to, and this is redacted, as that is another topic that must remain between the two of us. In return for all these requests, which I would have done without a second thought, I am not to attend meetings with Melinda. I should continue to provide you with the same level of service and dedication that I've done so diligently until you are ready to discard me and our friendship. Wow. So
amazing.
The magnitude of this is insane. This is the guy who tried. This is one of the richest men in the history of the world who tried so hard to prevent these files to come out. Doesn't this explain everything? This is the guy who architected this without any experience, without any background in medical research. He architected the C-19 push for the jab. And this right here is starting to make, after reading all that, a lot more sense.
You know, it was also widely reported that Bill had a friendship or business or some kind of contact with Jeffrey Epstein, and that you were not, that was very upsetting to you. Did that play a role in the divorce at all in this process?
Yeah, as I said, it's not one thing. It was many things. But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
Mm-hmm. And you made that clear to him?
I made that.
Where's Hillary Clinton at? Well, Hillary Clinton said she don't like that the fact Bill was with Epstein.
Clear to him.
Amazing.
I also met Jeffrey Epstein exactly one time.
Did you?
Yes, because I wanted to see who this man was. And I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards. So, you know, my heart breaks for these young women because that's how I felt. And here I'm an older woman. My God, I feel terrible for those young women. It was awful.
You felt that the moment you walked in. I didn't realize that. Yeah. And you shared that with Bill, and he still continued to spend time with him?
Any of the questions remaining?
Gail thinks she's an astronaut.
About what Bill's relationship there was, those are for Bill to answer.
Okay.
But I made it very clear how I felt about him.
Wow, that pretty much explains everything, doesn't it? Holy macadamia nut. What a disgusting wretch you are, Bill. Steve Jobs, you win. Now, there's other things that came out about Woody Allen and Noam Chomsky. Epstein was providing them with genetic DNA tests. or something like that. But this one really pisses me off, and it has to do with our president, President Trump. Check this out. Okay, really quickly, I have to share with you our new sponsor on the channel, Chapter. Medicare is super confusing. Millions of seniors are on the wrong Medicare plan, and it's killed this link, which is not true. I checked the link, and this is what was there. Now, I'm not going to focus in on any of this, but what essentially he was posting here are links to summation complaint summaries from people who were claiming that President Trump was involved with minors and did some untoward things with minor children. And this is being spread all over the internet. It's being spread all over the woke media apparatus, of course, because they hate Trump and they hate America. But none of it is credible. Look at the fine print. Always read the fine print, kids. This is why your boy Nez is here. Here is the fine print. Complainant was spoken to and deemed not credible. Additional research showed 3 separate incidents involving police, which requested in mandatory psychiatric evaluations. Do you think they're going to provide that context? Of course not. Do you think they're going to tell the truth about what was really in the files? Of course not. Do you think they're going to give the benefit of the doubt to the United States of America president, the president of the United States of America? Of course not. But this is the truth. You can verify it all. You know your boy Nez always does his due diligence, qualitative and quantitative research. I always bring you the facts. President Trump had nothing to do with this guy. In all intents and purposes, every single report has a very, very mad Epstein, that he was kicked out of Mar-a-Lago, that Trump saw this guy for who he was. He was never on the island, where Bill Clinton was on the island over 26 times. That's verified. And when U.S. Attorney Todd Blanche talked to Ghislaine Maxwell in the interview, Ghislaine Maxwell confirmed Trump was nowhere near the island. He never came to any of the parties. He never visited. He was never involved. And I think just instinctually, I mean, it makes 0% logistical sense why he would do this, why he would go there, why he would associate with this individual. And the fact that he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago over 20 years ago says it all. But when I say instinctual, just the feeling I get, knowing who President Trump is, knowing that he's risked literally his life twice, maybe 3 times, to help this country, just who he is as a character deep inside. If you remove the absolute abominable lies and slander that has been spread about him by this fake media, we all know who he is. You've been with me on those live streams of the rallies. He doesn't associate with these kind of animals, not by a long shot. So I thought this was worth sharing as well. And by the way, there's a lot. If you guys want me to do a follow-up video, I can. This is the stuff that I feel is the most pertinent to share at this moment in time. There may be more, but let me know in the comments. You're like, Nez, I want more. I want to find out more about what's going on here. I will happily do the research and share it with you. You don't need to go anywhere else. This is your one-stop shop. But Prince Andrew, in the Epstein files, after that, basically getting excommunicated from the royal family, and that heinous interview years ago where he essentially just lied on camera when the whole purpose of that interview was to clear his name. It did the exact opposite. Prince Andrew was invited. Invited Epstein to a private dinner at the palace. This is a 2010 email which shows Prince Andrew offering to host Epstein at Buckingham Palace, saying there would be, quotes, a lot of privacy, end quote. Epstein replied that he was already in London and good to go. The message refers to Andrew as the Duke and sets up a low-key dinner inside the royal residence. So one of the main things I want to get across is the more that the Democrats cry, release the Epstein, it makes them and everybody who's associated with them look bad, and makes Trump look all the more better, which is why Trump said many, many months ago, I told Pam Bondi, release everything. I got nothing to hide. Release it. If it's legal, release it, which he did. And he said that many, many times. And here we go. And it just proves time and time again, if you hapless, hack, low IQ, unqualified Hippocrats would just stop fighting our president, who was duly elected, and start fighting for the country, we'd all be better off. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Tap that thumb.
All right, you guys, I'm gonna call it a quit. get to the wife, get off work, came straight online. Be with you guys. Appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe. Thank you.